Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Morning, Jenny. How you doing right now?
Good.
Irritation is the highest form of flattery. Sincerest form.
Oh, so you're trying to preempt what I'm going to say to you. But what I'm really going to say to you is,
what?
I keep hearing about how those Lakers really play defense. Did you see what the Clippers did to the Raptors last night?
How many points they give up?
Choked them.
How many points?
Just suffocated.
How many points they give up? How many points they give up? We held an NBA team to 9 points in a quarter.
Oh.
9!
The Orlando Magic.
Well, is that an NBA team?
That was Magic.
I just need to know, is that an NBA team? Yes or no?
Impressive.
Is that an NBA
The
team?
Toronto Raptors at home barely got to 90.
The Magic didn't even get
Your
to
guy,
90.
a big old applause.
Lock 'em up.
That away Anaconda O'Brien, locking them down. We're going to talk about him a little
to
later.
Both of those. We have a packed show for you today. Was the Cowboys' defensive performance against the Bears the worst of any team all season? And how impressive was LeBron's sixth triple-double of the season?
Yeah, Ole Miss triple-double.
We are going to start, though, with the latest on the New England Patriots. It's being reported that the Patriots did not capture anything on the Bengals sideline from the press box that couldn't be seen on the television broadcast. It's also being reported that it was the videographer's first road game, which may have contributed to some of his confusion. The NFL is still investigating the incident, and yesterday Roger Goodell spoke on the matter. Let's take a listen to what the commissioner had to say.
You don't draw conclusions until you have all the information. So from our standpoint, I want to look at all the information. Once we have all the information, then we draw a conclusion. We're not going to draw conclusions along the way. I think the key things are the new information that we have. That information we obviously already have. But I think the issue is what information do we have from this incident?
Okay, Shannon, how will this play out?
I think I appreciate the commissioner saying they're going to do their due diligence. They're not going to rush to judgment. And he also, although it wasn't, we didn't hear that in the soundbite, Skip, he said previous history will play a role into this.
Yep.
As actually it should.
Yep.
Because you only get one time to be a first offender. You don't have that luxury if you do something and get caught again.
Nope.
And I expect this investigation to go on a little while. I think it's kind of going to be hush. At least till after. I don't think we're going to hear anything about it, Skip, say in the next week or two. But here's the thing. What you're hearing now is that what the videographer captured could have been captured at home, a TV copy, but that's not the point. If I go into the bank to rob it, yet I don't get any money, what? I've still committed an act. I've still committed a crime. Did he break the rules? Even though you could get that from TV copy, even though you could have got that if you bought a ticket inside in the stands, did he break the rules? It is a simple yes or a simple no. So, therefore,
It's one thing to get a parking ticket, and it's another to rob the bank, right?
No, hold on. But Skip, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You see what they're trying to do now? Well, this was his first road trip. Let me ask you a question. I need to know, is this his first time videoing games? Has he ever done anything like this at home? See, this is my first time robbing a bank outside of my hometown, Jenny, so I don't really know the procedure. I don't know, do I hand them the note? Do I just come out there with the gun? Do I say, everybody, this is a stick up? I don't really know the procedure. Now, at home, I understand because everybody know who I am. They're just going to give me the bread and just lay it down, Skip. Stop this, Skip. Why do y'all keep doing this, making excuses?
Y'all.
Yeah, I don't know.
You, because you're making excuses. It was you yesterday that said a guy could have just bought a ticket and went to the stands. Okay, well, that's what
And gotten better video than this from way up top in the press box.
Well, that's what he should have done. But if you do it that way, it's a breaking of the rules. And so, therefore, Skip, now, we need to go back, and the NFL needs to go back. Okay, is this a one-off? Is this the first time they've done that? Cincinnati Bengals, this is the first time that they filmed someone's sideline. Does it go back 1 game, 2 games, 5 games? Has it been going on for the entirety of the season? So let me ask you a question, Skip. If this has been going on for the entirety of the season, where it can be proven that they've been videotaping the opponent's sideline, you cool with that?
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn.
Well, I can't even answer the question, or...
Okay. It's as simple as this, Skip. They broke the rules. Now, you can get into the minutia of how importance of a rule. Skip, I don't really think driving 55 was a big deal. I mean, but the speed limit says 55. If the cop gives me a ticket at 60, I broke the rules. Did I not break the rules? As simple as that. He broke the rules. So since now we're going to break the rules, but it's a little, come on, man, it's a little rule. It wasn't like you was going 150. The fact of the matter is, and the bylaw says you cannot film the opposing team's sideline coaches. That's the rule. They broke it. Now, if it can be traced, if they can prove it's been going on again, but the bigger thing is, can they trace it back to the head guy, Coach Belichick? And if Coach Belichick, if it can be traced back to him, at bare minimum, he must get Sean Payton's punishment, which was 1 year. That's at the bare minimum.
Okay. So you're still saying Bill Belichick should be fired for this? I just want to be clear.
He got to get, Skip, if Sean Payton, who said he knew nothing of this bounty, and Roger Goodell said you should have known because you're the head coach, at bare minimum, Bill Belichick should be suspended for a year. And considering this is a second offense, he should be fired. Okay. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I want to be clear about that.
I will try to make it crystal.
Okay, so you remember Al Capone?
Yes.
Maybe the most notorious of all the gangsters. Maybe our younger viewers won't remember this, but the almost cliche story about Al Capone is he finally got busted and was sent to prison for tax evasion. He was responsible for dozens, if not hundreds, of murders, all out, flat out, cold-blooded murders.
Correct.
And finally, they got him on tax evasion. And to me, this feels like tax evasion because to me, Bill Belichick is the Al Capone of coaches. And I've said it before, and I hate to keep beating this almost dead horse on this show, but I got little to no respect for Bill Belichick to the point that whenever we do who's the all-time greatest coach, I always tell you he's disqualified. He got busted for cheating one time. If, in fact, they deflated the footballs, which was the second big offense, he had to have something to do with that because you always tell me he knows everything down to footballs that he wets down to get ready for rain games, right?
That is correct.
So you can't tell me he didn't have a whole lot, if not everything, to do with Deflategate. And then we've had all kinds of accusations of videotaping walkthroughs on the Saturday before the first two Super Bowls from team executives on both those teams, Rams, Panthers. And we have all kinds of suspicion, runaway suspicion from even the great Peyton Manning. Locker rooms bugged at Gillette Stadium, sideline equipment jammed, signals jammed at Gillette for the visiting team.
Correct.
Well, these are like, quote unquote, murder offenses. You know, these are big offenses.
It just seems like a lot of coincidences happen at Gillette Stadium.
I would agree. So now we get to this. And for once, I believe that Bill Belichick, to me, is being a victim of his reputation, and he earned his reputation.
Correct.
He's now a victim of his notorious past, and it is notorious. It's proven to be notorious. So to me, this time, he's innocent as charged, but just because, as Commissioner said, and you pointed out yesterday, you're going to take the past into account. Yes, you got to take the past into account. So I believe that the upshot of all this will be, after a fairly brief review of all the above, all the information, and I know Commissioner Goodell needed to say yesterday, we are really looking into this and we're not going to rush to judgment because he wanted to drive home the point to the public, we are not going to dismiss this out of hand. We're not going to take one quick look and say, it's nothing. They're going to say, we're going to do a thorough review of this, and it's going to take, to your point, I don't know, a couple of weeks. They probably don't want to go past a couple of weeks because they'll want people to get anxious about.
You want playoff in football, playoff in Super Bowl to be the focus of people's thoughts.
Very good point. So I believe that the Patriots will be heavily fined for this, but I don't believe that Bill Belichick himself will pay any price. Now we're back to the 2 points that Jenny broke up that were broke yesterday.
Sure.
And the first one was this crew was a freelance crew because the crew that is full-time with the website was doing the Kansas City New England game at home, obviously.
Right.
So these are freelancers, and the one videographer in question, this is the first time, you kept asking me this yesterday, has he done this before? And I said, I don't know.
Right.
Well, now, according to one report, I do know. This was his first road game.
No. So let me ask you a question. Does film work differently at home than the road?
No, but you asked me, has he done this on the road before?
No, I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm asking when I say a first time, I'm saying this is his first time operating a camera. This is his first time doing this line of work.
Okay.
So has he done something like this at home for the Patriots in Gillette Stadium?
I don't know the answer to that. All I know is this is the first time he got sent on the road, because you implied yesterday that maybe they've been doing this, sending him to lots of road games under the guise of, oh, you're doing some web piece,
right?
You know, do your job piece.
Craft production.
And I said, for all I know, from what I read, it was the first time they were do your job on the advanced scout who happened to be at Cleveland scouting Cincinnati.
Skipper, you don't mind me asking, how many guys you think are in Pelican Bay for a first-time offense?
I have
a lot of them.
Mm.
So just because it's your first time does not mean, Skip, you see what you're trying to do. You said, well, this is
I'm
his
not
first.
trying to. I'm just reciting the facts.
Okay.
I know.
Skip, be that as it may. Even if you are a first-time offender, if you break the law, you break the rules, you should be punished.
Okay. So, to me, they did break a rule. I still think it's a silly rule. That's just me, but it's still a rule, so I'm with you. The rule is the rule. There's some college rules that I think are just flat out silly, but if you violate, you violate.
Sure.
Okay, so in this case, the rule got violated, so they got to be fined for it, but I believe it was an innocent violation, a naive violation by a first-timer on the road who, by the way, walked in plain, bold sight right into the press box wearing New England garb, as in Boston Bruins, but he identified himself in that effect as I'm from New England, right?
Right.
And where's the quote on this? It's a good one. The cameraman made no effort to conceal what he was doing, which serves as evidence that the violation was a result of misunderstanding and not an attempt to cheat, said one website. And the quote from a source, league source, was, "You would not go in wearing a Bruin shirt, put a camera on a tripod in the press box, and hope nobody notices." So I told you yesterday, it's almost laughable. It's like a Saturday Night Live skit of cheating, because Bill Belichick might be a little corrupt, but is he stupid?
Yes.
Silly?
He's brazen. He's arrogant. He's so arrogant that the NFL sent a memo at the start of the 2007 season. If you're videotaping from the sideline, cease immediately. His number 2 lieutenant, because I believe Romeo was number 1, because Romeo had been with him the longest. His number 2 lieutenant, our own Eric Mangini, say, Bill, that thing that you do, just don't do it to me. So, Skip, if the league tells you, if you're doing it, stop. If your number 2 lieutenant knows that you're doing it, says, just don't do it to me, and we're all good, but you still do it, what does that make you? He's brazen. He's arrogant. The rules apply to everybody in the NFL except Bill Belichick. How dare you tell me what I can't do?
I'm the one who shouldn't be defending Bill Belichick, except on this count. What he was doing back in, what year was it, 2007? 07 was he was still secretly videotaping the other sideline. Nobody knew about it except Eric, because he was on the inside. He knew from the inside out how it was done.
But Skip, there was reported there were teams that had alerted the league. That's why Roger Goodell sent the memo. He sent the memo at the start, the Tuesday before the season. Anyone taping from the sideline must stop immediately. And he continued to do it. And even though Eric Mangini knew he was doing it and said, just don't do it to Skip, if he didn't do it to Mangini, he would have continued to do it even though the league told him to stop. And you said, is he that brazen? Yes.
So you're telling me that the man most people believe is the smartest football coach ever, sent a freelancer in a Bruins jersey to the press box in in Cleveland, I'm sorry.
He don't work for the Bruins. Why is he wearing the Bruins jersey?
And he's identified himself as from New England.
Yeah.
And told him, I want you to set up the tripod in the second row of the press box for everybody to see, and be so brazen that you're going to get caught. Because then there's a Bengals staffer sitting in the next row behind him and saying, what are we doing here?
Skip, if it was so innocuous, I mean, everybody seemed like, okay, everything's... So why was the Bengals guy so concerned? It's so innocent. We got a guy from Kraft Productions who's wearing a Bruins uniform.
Well, obviously,
but something caught his attention. What caught his attention?
Reputation caught his attention.
Was it earned?
Yeah. Okay.
Did they earn that?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
But does that mean that this was a blatant violation? No. And then the final point was, Jenny brought it up, that the 8 minutes of footage that they shot was no different than what you would watch, you'd get on TV.
Okay.
That's what I told you yesterday. This is like a TV tape.
Skip.
And what advantage? Why don't you just go watch the tape of the game from the television,
Skip,
right?
There's a lot you can get from television copy. Quarterbacks in today, defensive guys in today's time, they like TV copy because you can hear sound. There's a reason why people started to catch Omaha.
Okay. But everybody got, okay, so that's no advantage to New England.
Skip, listen to what I'm trying to explain. There was times that people didn't care about the TV copy. It wasn't until the microphones could start picking up signals and could hear checks that it became of grave importance.
Okay, so what? What does that have to do with this? Nothing.
Skip, okay, if they could get it from the TV copy, why didn't the hell they do it? So why do that?
Because they were doing an innocent feature on an advanced scout
There's no such
doing his job.
If it was so innocent.
It's obvious that that's what was happening.
It's obvious because that's what you wanted to appear as obvious.
I don't want it to. I don't like Bill Belichick. You love him. You've called him the greatest coach ever multiple times on this show. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
Look.
But this time, this is innocent.
How? Of all the most well-run organization, the last thing you would do is have a videographer that's doing something for the Patriots to have sometimes, Skip, the mere mention of impropriety will raise people's ire. So you know that videography, cameras, filming, Patriots do not go hand in hand. So don't nobody tell this guy, now you can't do this. Just go on about your merry way. Really, Skip?
Yeah, really. It's a do your job piece. It's just...
He did his job. He did his job. That was his job. What he got caught doing, that was his job. I'm glad you said that.
So you think Bill Belichick was sitting back at home thinking, I can't wait to get my hands on this videographer's tape from the press box in Cincinnati because I will know all and see all from the 8 minutes he shot.
You actually think, first of all, like Coach Belichick says, do I think Bill Belichick talked to the videographer? Absolutely not, Skip. Come on, you know there's a chain of command how it goes. It's just like in A Few Good Men. Colonel Jessup, he didn't talk to the guys, the foot soldiers. He didn't tell them to do the code red, but it passed down the chain of command, didn't it, Skip? Huh?
I guess
Downing
so.
and Kathy were the guy's name.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that Bill Belichick would commission this. It's not good enough, and it's so...
Did he commission, let me ask you a question, 2007, did he commission that?
Yeah.
Why would he do, why? So why? What's different now than then? Why would he do that, Skip?
What do you mean, why would he do it?
You said, I can't believe...
We know why he was doing it in 2007.
But so winning now is not important in 2019.
Well, obviously it is.
Okay, then. But you said, I can't believe he would commission, but he commissioned it in 2007. But this is beyond him now to commission it in 2019.
Okay, but that was surreptitious taping. That was in secret taping. That was not in plain sight taping. This is just so bad, it's dumb, it's silly, it's laughable. This is like I said, this will be on Saturday Night Live of them up in the press box, taping the signals from above.
Skip, sometimes.
So you think it's come to that for Bill Belichick?
Skip, the Patriots are the most arrogant organization there is. They win a lot, and they're good. They're very good. They're damn good. They know everything. Coach Belichick knows every single rule. There's that when every team. When they listen up, Skip, when they giving the intangibles, okay, quarterback play, they check one side. Name the time that Coach Belichick has ever lost when he's going against another coach, that check. That check always goes to whose coach, Skip? You might say defenses, both of them get checks. Offense, one gets a check. Special teams, but name the time that Bill Belichick has ever lost in the last 20 years when he says he's going up against another coach and that green check isn't next to his name. So here's a guy that knows everything, all the rules inside and out. But now, all of a sudden, I don't know what's going on. I don't know the guy. But see, and the thing is, like you said, he didn't know Tom. I don't know. Ask Tom. He quick to pass the buck, but he don't know nothing. The guy that knows everything about everything, all of a sudden don't know jack about nothing.
For him to know they're going to assign a feature on the Advanced Scout to do your job for the New England website, if the
You don't think Coach Belichick signed off on that?
I don't know about that.
What?
Well, how do you know that? Do you know that for a fact? I don't know that.
Skip Bayless.
In fact, I find that a little far-fetched.
Skip. Those guys are not doing it. Hold on. Do you think any of those coaches are doing an interview without Coach Belichick knowing about it?
I don't know. For the website, probably they would. It's a Robert Kraft special. Who's the boss?
I don't give a deep. Skip Bayless.
Robert Kraft or Bill Belichick the boss?
I tell you what, let one of them guys talk without Coach Belichick knowing, and you see what happens.
Okay, but if Robert Kraft sends a videographer and says, you're assigned now to do an advanced scout feature, you don't think the advanced scout's going to cooperate with the Robert Kraft?
Robert Kraft don't give a deal about no advanced scouting.
Well, he does about his website. Yes, he does. It's promotion.
Skip Bayless.
It's how they promote their football team. They do them all. They do them every week. They've been doing them for years.
Jenny, Skip, help me understand this. You talk about a team that has 6 Super Bowls. They've gone to every AFC Championship game since 2010, and they need a web feature to promote the team. Good God Almighty.
Well, they've been doing it for years.
That's not the point.
Everybody does it. Jerry Jones does it every week.
Skip, let me tell you something.
Jerry Jones owns the most valuable team in all of sports, and their website spills over with features.
Skip.
How do you explain that?
Skip.
What do they need to promote?
Skip, each organization is different. I'm willing to bet you a golden doorknob to a bucket of cow manure that there's not a coach, there's not a scout that will talk to anybody without Coach Belichick getting it run by first. It's just like Alabama. Those coaches does not talk unless Coach Saban know. So this notion, Mike Shanahan had it the same way. There was nobody talking to no media, to nobody, unless Coach Mike Shanahan, it was clear through Mike Shanahan first. So this notion that everybody gets to do whatever they want to be as long as they go. I guarantee you, Mr. Kraft, even though when it comes to something like this, run it by Bill. I bet you. You know that, Skip Bayless.
I don't know it on this one. I don't. I think this is innocent as charged. Innocent.
But surprising that the Patriots had a full-time producer there as well.
Full-time.
That's being reported. So
Full-time.
Freelancer might do. I'm having a hard time understanding how the producer wouldn't see how obvious the mistake would appear.
I don't know.
That's confusing.
No, you don't know. Now you don't know.
But I'm not sure this is obvious. When you're shooting from the press box, it's so high, and you're only shooting 8 minutes worth of B-roll video. I just think
that's just the sideline, or just the Bengals sideline. You ain't want nothing from Cleveland. You ain't want their side.
And again,
why you didn't want Cleveland?
You asked me yesterday, what about the all-22 coaches tape? Well, he's not shooting an all-22. He's just shooting the sideline because that's what the advanced scout will be watching. And what's the difference in shooting sideline video when the advanced scout is sitting up there taking notes for 3.5 hours on the game? Help me out.
The advanced scout, what the hell is he going to gain from the sideline?
Everything.
What?
Signals.
Thank you, Judy. That's what I wanted him to say. Signals. You said it was going to be any help to him. Thank you. That's what I needed you to say.
That.
You did.
What are you talking about?
Skip Bayless,
this is just silly.
You argued with me and Greg Jenner yesterday talking about you know. I said he can gain information from the signals. Even Tony Dungy said you can't
Everybody watches the signals. Everybody.
Not
Orlando
everybody.
Scandrick said the other day, he said, I've never been in a defensive meeting when they weren't prepping us on what the signals were on the other team.
All I'm saying,
it's what they do for a living.
That's my point.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Okay, that's the oldest mantra.
They were cheating. They were trying to cheat and got caught.
They were doing a silly little feature on the advanced scout.
Okay.
Again, parking ticket, you're good. It was a parking ticket.
That's what you want. That's what you want to call it. Call it whatever. It was cheating. It's a violation.
Yep, it's a violation. Way to go.
It's a violation. And
but this, for once, this shouldn't cost Bill Belichick his job. That's just me.
All right, we've heard both sides. I think it's really compelling on both angles to this. It's hard to know without everything.
No mercy.
The Cowboys defense will have to step it up on Sunday. Last week, they struggled against the Bears. Not only did they give up 31 points, but they also had 19 missed tackles, which is the most any team has had in a game this season. The Cowboys are now tied for the 3rd most missed tackles on the season. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Well, Skip, a lot of it is that they're not a good defensive football team. Some of it could be technique. Obviously, you're out of position, Skip. You don't bring your legs with you. You have your head not on the right side of when you make the tackle. Or you could be fatigued. But, I mean, a lot of these tackles are happening in the first quarter, Skip. I mean, you shouldn't be fatigued in the first quarter. I mean, it's not like, Chicago had a vaunted running attack. They were just – I just think the thing is that they're not a good defensive football team. Skip, I'm a firm believer. What makes teams special is that when one side of the ball is struggling, say your offense can't get anything going, your defense can hold the other team, get a pick six, scoop and score, and win that game for you. When you get into a shootout, you're like, okay, and we knew, Skip, I knew on a given Sunday, okay, especially when I was in Denver, is that, okay, we're going to need to get 30. We're going to have to play an outstanding game today because our defense is not on their A game, on their A game. But there are times that we couldn't get anything going. And I said, man, I sure hope our defense can bail us out. That happened a lot when we were in Baltimore, Skip. Obviously, you're talking about a historically great defense. But the second game of the season, we played the Jags. They hung 36 on us. We went and got 39, caught a late touchdown to win the game. But that's what, and when you look at the Cowboys, one side of that, they play the Patriots, give up 13. They give up 12 to the Saints, and their offense can't get anything generated. And then you look at other games that the offense has 400, 500 yards, and the defense can't stop anybody. So, but guess who gets the blame for this? Oh, Jason Garrett. Now, you got Rod Marinelli, who's Derek Brooks. You know Brooksy very well. I know Brooks. We still communicate. Warren Sapp, all-time great defensive tackle. He and I still communicate. They swear by Rod Marinelli.
John Lynch.
They swear by Chris Richard.
Yep.
Ain't no secret why Pete Carroll said, okay, you can go ahead and go.
Maybe.
I ain't going to fight to keep you. But that's Jason Garrett's fault. You see, the thing is, people, I remember in Denver, they asked Mike Shanahan, why did he record meetings? Why did he have cameras in the meeting room? Because I want to make sure. Because when a player doesn't do something on the field, I need to know why. Was it because we didn't coach him to do it? Or he went rogue and did something on his own? I need to know. We ain't put that on Mike. Okay, Brian Perrione, my position coach, are you teaching 84? Are you teaching Carswell what they should be doing in this situation? So my question is, Skip, are they being taught proper tackling techniques? Because it's hard for me to believe that somewhere, Skip, in the first half that you're already fatigued. Are they not working? I mean, obviously, they don't work like, you remember when you first started covering, they tackle on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and they padded practices with 2.5 hours. Well, they don't do a whole lot of tackling now, Skip. So it's hard to be able to do something good in the game when you don't practice doing it. But I think their technique is bad, and maybe that has to do with coaching and not Jason Garrett.
He is the head coach.
Don't do that, Skip. Right. See, why you keep, hold on. But Jerry Jones said, didn't Jerry say every coach here I hired? That's what Jerry said, Skip. You heard him.
He's in charge.
He said it. I figure the man that cut the checks should have the final say.
So, when Mitchell Trubisky, who I've now renamed Lamar Trubisky, when he broke the 23-yard run that broke this team's back the other night on Thursday night, Fox Football, I immediately tweeted, I think I'm going to vomit, because I was close. And I was even closer last night when I read Bob Sturm's excellent third-level film study breakdown of that game when it came to tackling. 19 missed tackles. There's not been anything remotely close to 19 missed tackles in a game out of the 256 that have been played so far this year. That is staggering to me. That is stomach turning or stomach churning to me right now, because what happened in that game, let's simplify it. Jerry Jones said after the game that they had all circled this game as their turnaround game because they thought they were better than the Chicago Bears.
You did?
And you could just tell that the discussion in the first class section of the plane flying to Chicago featuring GM Jerry Jones and the coaching staff was, we got this.
Right.
We're going to buckle up. We're going to run the football.
Yep.
We're going to just take it right down their throats to start this game, and they will be the team that says no moss.
Correct.
And this will be the game that will be our launching point for the rest of the season.
So
and I went into that game thinking similarly. And what happened? Dak Prescott took that offense 17 plays down the field, and it took more than half of the first quarter.
Absolutely.
That's a lot. It took almost 9 minutes. Remember, 15 minutes and a quarter.
Yeah.
So it's
the last, like the longest drive in terms of yard time.
In over a year of like a calendar year, going back to mid-season last year.
Correct.
There's a Drew Brees drive that was a little longer, but on plays and time, it's been a long time since you've seen one like that.
Correct.
They converted 4 third downs, 3 of them by pass, and a couple of them were a 3rd and 11 and a 3rd and 8. And it's like, boom, here we go. And then guess what? The Bears, now they get the football because it's not make it, take it. You don't, if you score a touchdown, you don't get to just keep going, right?
That would be nice.
That would be nice for my team, but it's not that way now. So here we go, and they get the ball, and then what happened? Nothing good happened, because would you realize that for the rest of the game, that the Bears held the ball for 32 minutes, the rest of the game, to my team's 19 minutes, because my defense could not stop Lamar Trubisky. They came in, the Chicago Bears, 27th in points scored in the league. So they were struggling on offense until my defense hit their field, right? And then they hit my defense right between the eyes because my defense could not tackle. So Bob Sturm wrote this really excellent piece. It's horrifying to me. But he starts off with a long quote from a sit-down interview Bill Belichick did in 2015, in which he talks about the essence of the defense that he is known for coaching. What is it? He said, first line from Bill Belichick in this interview. For me, I learned a long time ago, my dad taught me this, and Coach Parcells told me this, that the most important thing on defense is getting 11 guys out there who can tackle.
Sure.
I know this sounds really simplistic, but he's saying coverage skills are secondary to him. You know, if you can cover, that's a bonus.
Right.
But if you can't tackle, you can't win. So, and he said, he's just talking about you have to get the ball on the ground, as you just said. And he said, I don't think there's been a day that we haven't worked on tackling this year or any other year. Fundamental, primary focus of a Bill Belichick practice is tackling. If you get a shot, if you can get an ankle, if you can wrap up, you have to get the ball carrier on the ground or you're going to lose the game, right?
Got to rally to the football.
Okay, so we got two plays that happened in this game, and let's go to the first one, which was the Cordero Patterson play. It's 11:41 in the third quarter because it's still kind of a game. It's 17-7 at half, and they're driving. The Bears got the opening, got the ball to start the second half. And it's 3rd and 9 now. It's 3rd and 9 at the 34, and Bob Sturm pointed up this play. But watch this. It's just a little quick pass to Cordero, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of got him on the ground. 33 yards. It's the longest play of the whole football game on 3rd and 9.
Right.
Okay, it's just a little 1-yard pass, right? You can't play like that. You can't. And when he first catches the ball, there are 4 Cowboys who have a pretty good shot at him, including Jalen Smith.
Well, Skip, that's Jalen Smith's guy because the guy lined up tight and Jalen Smith got him.
Okay, and what did Jalen Smith get in the offseason? He got his money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, he got it recently.
Okay. Yeah, well, he got his money.
That's your guy, Jalen.
Okay, this is where you're going to lose. If this is 3rd and 9 now, if you can't get him on the ground within 9 yards, you're going to lose the football game, which led me to the vomit play in question. If we could just see this, because they had just cut the score. Remember, they cut it to 24-14.
Correct.
And Maher, no longer a Dallas Cowboy, then kicks off out of bounds. But what happened 3 plays later? Well, there he goes. 1, 2. You know, it's like this is not Lamar Jackson, although they made him look like Lamar Jackson. It's a 23-yard run for a touchdown that is basically the dagger right through my heart and Cowboy Nation's heart.
In a situation like this, the DB is taught you got to play inside out.
Okay.
You force him to the sideline, Skip, if you got to, if you push him out of bounds. But you let him cut back, there's nobody behind you.
There's nobody behind you. So, to me, I keep telling you that my biggest fear about my team is not the offense. Again, you can shoot all the holes in the offense you want to. My quarterback has not made enough of the plays. He's made a whole lot of plays because they're still first in the league in yards. Pro Football Focus still ranks the offense number 1 in the league. You can laugh at that. I feel free. I actually invite you to laugh at that. But they've plummeted to 9th in points. First in yards, 9th in points. That won't work.
No.
So
that's the disconnect, Skip.
And they're first in third down conversions in the whole league. But guess what's plummeting is time of possession. What did they do in the 2 division-winning years, 2016 and 2018?
They led. I know they led, especially that 2016.
2016, they wound up second, but they led most of the year. It wasn't until the very end that they fell barely to second. Last year, when they won the division, they were 5th in the league in time of possession. That's pretty good because you know what you're doing? You're camouflaging the problem.
Yes.
The problem is on your defensive side. Either you're not good enough or something is really missing over there. But if you dominate time of possession, it's okay. You can sort of get away with it. Well,
that's your defense. The Cowboys' offense is really the defense because you keep them on the bench.
Okay, so I'm having a hard time making 2 + 2 = 4 here, but you're first in third down conversions, but you've fallen to 23rd in time of possession. I don't really get how those two go together because it seems like if you keep converting, you're going to hold on to the football, but they're not holding on to the football.
Because if you go deeper, Skip, what is that telling you? They're converting a lot of those, Skip, when the ball game is 31-7. Okay. And so early on, when you really need to get those completions, because remember we looked at those stats, it wasn't until late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, that they started getting those conversions.
Okay, so defense is getting exposed because it's staying out on the field much longer than usual because you've flipped your time of possession to 28 minutes for you and 32 for the opponent. It's too much.
Yes.
Okay, so now, biggest fear of all to me. What is tackling about to you? I know you played offense, but you played defense in high school. It's just you just want to do it. Do you want it worse than he wants it? Okay. So again, Bob Sturm is suggesting that there was surrender, which is another word for quit, right? Mm-hmm. They were quitting on somebody. Are they quitting on themselves? Are they quitting on their owner for constantly putting the coach on the hot seat? Are they quitting on, as you call him, Red, Jason Garrett? Mm-hmm. Or are they quitting on Rod Marinelli, who's been known for years and years in this league as one of the best motivators on defense?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Are they quitting on him or are they quitting on Chris Richard because for whatever reason he's rubbing them the wrong way? Something is awry there. Or you could also suggest to me maybe they're just not good enough. But I've seen them play at a pretty high level. Last year, against Seattle in the first round playoff game, they just shut them down. Right. That was the best rushing team in the league. They held them to 73 yards rushing.
And I get it, Skip. It was Drew Brees wasn't there, but still, Teddy Bridgewater took the New Orleans Saints to a 5-0 record.
5-0, but they hung in okay against him.
And they held
New Orleans
with 4 field goals. That's what they gave up.
And he still had Kamara, and he still had Mike Thomas.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Okay, so what's happening? Why are you quitting in what was circled and probably spoken of hotly in the locker room?
Right.
This is it. Here's where we take off now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I got to read Bob Sturm's conclusion to this because it sounds a lot like me, but I thought he really put it well, so I'm just going to flat out read his conclusion.
Okay.
If we could see it. I try to maintain a brave face most weeks, but this one was difficult to muster. I see a team that has lost its self-belief on both sides of the ball, duplicating the Thanksgiving embarrassment with a similar performance in Chicago 7 days later is incredibly ominous. The only saving grace is the mirror image in Philadelphia. It is bad, and it looks unsalvageable. So once again, the Eagles keep enabling my team to quit and look awful.
Yeah, he said, but basically we're ugly, but they're uglier.
Uglier, I guess.
In that mirror.
Yeah,
what do you
in the
see?
mirror. It's the mirror image, but that still does not absolve this defense. And listen, the Rams suddenly, they've found themselves.
Well.
Yeah.
They found themselves on offense because the quarterback I was having grave doubts about, as probably Rams Nation was also. The last 2 games, he's looked pretty good. He's looked like he looked last year.
And the defense is getting after the quarterback again.
Yep. Okay. So if my defense fails to show up, this could be the biggest embarrassment because there's firepower in this offense. This is not Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, they got guys that can catch the ball and get going in a hurry.
Yep.
It's crazy, though, in spite of all the drama, that they still control their own destiny. So, I mean, honestly, it's the situation for the Cowboys right now.
No mercy.
Are you ready for what's ahead? You can't always predict the future, but you can game plan for it. Generations of families and businesses have harnessed the power of Pacific to help them reach their unique goals. Whether you need to save enough money to meet your needs, ensure your family is protected, or make sure you don't run out of money, Pacific Life has a variety of financial solutions that can help. Pacific Life counts more than half of the 100 largest U.S. companies as its clients and has been named one of the 2019 World's Most Ethical Companies by the Ethisphere Institute, protecting what matters most to people for 150 years and counting. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about how Pacific Life can help you game plan for your future, or visit www.pacificlife.com.
No mercy.
Let's talk LeBron. The Lakers continue to roll, and with last night's win in Orlando, they are now 22-3 on the season. LA led by as many as 24, but let the Magic tie it up at 71 in the fourth quarter. LeBron would assist on the next 3 Laker possessions on his way to his 6th triple-double of the season as the Lakers regained the lead and went on to win by 9. So, Shannon, I know you caught this one. How impressive was LeBron's triple-double?
You know, Skip, Miss Triple Dub, she a nice lady. Because it's not often someone's on vacation. She was on vacation down there at Disney.
She was.
Yeah. And she
Really?
took time out of her schedule.
She did.
To come visit O'Brien and get that triple dub. 25, 11, and 10.
Really?
So that's I have a lot of respect for people that'll take time out of their vacation to do something for someone else.
Really?
Yeah. But I wasn't impressed.
You were not.
No, I was not, no. He didn't shoot a very high percentage, 11 of 24. He had 10 assists, but he had 6 turnovers. I just thought overall, and plus the standard that I have for GOAT James, he's the GOAT. Big GOAT, belly GOAT. Beard this long. So I have huge, high, lofty expectations. And last night wasn't it. It wasn't met. Nobody played well last night. Jared Dudley came in and gave us some big buckets. Yeah, you always talk about duds, but Dud was dropping them buckets. Let that 3 go on them, Skip. You saw it. Cape Canaveral crossed Orlando, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he was letting them things go from the Cape.
Yeah.
Skip, look.
Jared Dudley.
They didn't shoot the ball. Think about this, Skip. LeBron was 11 of 24. He had 10 assists, but he had 6 turnovers. And then the free throws. I mean, and them as a team shot 10 of 19. That's not good. And you up, at one point they were up by 24, so they was up 42-18, something like that, 42-50, whatever it was. And then you let them come back, and it goes from 42-18, 42-17, something like that, to all of a sudden it's a 56-51 ball game. Really? That's not good. We better than that.
Well, 71 all early in the fourth quarter.
I was never worried. I was not worried. But the mere fact that they were able to get back in the game, no Vucevic. He's their best player.
Yep.
He wasn't there. Markelle Fultz, he wasn't there. He's played really well.
He has.
Seems like he's regained his confidence. So if I had to give LeBron a grade, I'd give him a C.
Would you?
Yeah, he got it.
Objective of you?
Skip, I'm always objective. Unfortunately, you don't think I am.
I failed to grasp that
I know you
on a daily
failed.
basis.
Well, you did fail the 3rd grade, so I can understand why you failed to grasp that.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, Skip Bayless.
Turned
I actually passed the 3rd. I didn't even take the 3rd grade. Yeah. Go ahead. Next.
I did not.
Man, stop trying to rub stuff in. Ain't nobody asked you that how smart you were. Okay, you graduated with like a 3.6. Okay, I'm happy for you with the Vanderbilt.
3.6?
Yeah.
4.6.
You mean in college or in high school?
College, high school, that
It
matters,
was
Skip.
more like a 4.0.
Next question.
Jeez,
Moving on.
all you do is go there close. Did you come out here to gloat?
Well, you said I failed the 3rd grade. Yeah, I did. I failed to take the 3rd grade.
The other way around.
But the thing is, Skip, I was not overly impressed with LeBron because I know he can play much better than this. And if you just look at the game that he played Sunday night, he played much better than this. So, and I think a lot of that had to do. AD couldn't get it going last night. He was 6 of 20 from the floor. They just didn't play really well, and I think everything revolves around LeBron. And he didn't have his best stuff last night, and it was reflective in the way the team played.
So here we go again in the fourth quarter. Man, nobody on either team took as many shots in the fourth quarter as LeBron James did. He took 8 more, and you realize he's running away with the NBA lead in fourth quarter shot attempts. He's got 10 more now than Donovan Mitchell has, 144 to 134. What does that mean?
What Donovan Mitchell record is?
Well, that's interesting because it took the fourth quarter because LeBron did have 4 assists, and they were nice.
No, we do.
3 of them came bang, bang, bang right after the
Bang,
score
bang.
got tied.
Yep.
So I'm going to give him that, but he added a couple more rebounds. And he added 7 more points because he needs the triple-double.
No, he doesn't.
Yep.
Stop. You make it seem like Skip. You make it seem like he goes into the game like I need a triple-double. No, he doesn't.
He's creeping up the all-time list. Now there's only like 8 guys ahead of him.
He's 6. He's 6.
But the point is, wouldn't you think LeBron James would be vying for first on the list because he's in year 17
No.
of triple-doubles?
Why?
Because he was born to be a triple-double.
No, but that's not. No, Skip. At this juncture of his career, it takes too much energy. It takes a lot of energy to get chased down rebounds. And that's not what plus, what did he have AD? What did Dwight Howard? What did JaVale there for if LeBron got to chase down all these rebounds?
Well, that's a good question. So LeBron was still out there just banging away. Let me see what his fourth quarter minutes were. Pretty high, 11-20 in the fourth. At least he didn't play all.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
40 seconds.
Wait a minute, Skip, baby. We're going to talk about this in a minute now. You just saw Kawhi play. They were up 20 with 3 minutes left in the ball game, and he's out there. You ain't say nothing.
Well, he takes a lot of breaks.
That's because the Raptor fans wanted him to be out there. They were cheering for him, chanting for him. They're chanting MVP in Toronto. So Doc just said, why don't you give them what they want?
No.
Put him on ice in Toronto.
Yeah, put him on ice.
There's enough ice outside, right?
But remember, Skip, you know, he's low managing now.
Oh, I know.
In the games, too, sometimes.
So LeBron was still out there a little later in the game, about 6 minutes to go.
Skip, the game was still in question.
Okay, and it was in question, and LeBron, boy, he attacked that rim, and guess what happened if we could see that?
My goodness, my goodness.
Yikes.
You don't
LeBron
miss
says, I got this. Boom, you don't got this. Mo Bamba. Wait, LeBron, you ate that one.
That was a foul, too.
I had to see the replay just to make sure.
That was a foul, too, Skip.
No, I don't think it's all ball. It's all ball. Mo Bamba. He rejected him at the rim, and I'm thinking, you know what? Did they need a body bag for that? Did they have to carry LeBron out? Because I don't know if he's going to be able to play for a while because they took him away in a body bag.
No, they didn't.
Well, that's what you always tell me.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he does to Nurkic and.
Well, he catch somebody.
Right?
He gonna catch somebody from the Heat. He'll catch somebody from the Heat on Friday.
Yeah.
Watch the Heat. Watch what he does to the Heat.
Really?
Jimmy Bucket's gonna catch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's going to block Jimmy Buckets?
No, he gonna put that thing on Jimmy Buckets.
Oh, really? Boy, Jimmy's been putting that thing on a lot of people in Miami, especially.
Really?
The team's pretty good.
Do you remember what happened when he came to L.A.?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I do remember.
Okay.
Yep. So, but I was interested in that. And then you brought up my friend Jared Dudley, who doesn't get to play, but he was called into duty last night because they needed him to play. And by the way, to your point, he came up, I'm going to say for him, he came up big because he made 3 threes last night.
Yeah.
Really impressive. But there was a little fracas with about 7 minutes left in the game involving Dwight Howard. And can we see what happened here? They bang each other. It's no big deal. A little pushing, a little shoving. And then look at Jared Dudley. He goes in and he shoves Terrence Ross, who's an innocent bystander.
No, he wasn't no innocent bystander.
Terrence Ross didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And Jared Dudley just goes and shoves him in the back.
Fouled him, dudes. Fouled him.
In the back. Oh, look at this.
That's what we do.
He's trying to be a peacemaker, and Jared Dudley wants to earn his check. He wants to send a message to his teammates. I got your backs, because I'll push him in the back.
Yeah.
I know Jared fairly well, and he is a lover, not a fighter. He wants to fight nobody.
Well, I look at
nobody he wants to fight.
I saw Duds over the summer in Equinox getting that weight in.
Was he pumping that iron?
Pumping that iron.
Yeah.
So he ready. You see?
I don't think he wants to pump them fists.
Yeah, he done slimmed down a little bit. He toned up a little bit. Yeah, he been doing some push-ups.
No, he said he does cardio before and after every game because he doesn't get to play.
Yeah,
that's good.
But he got to play last night. Okay. Gave us 9 big points.
So he's just showing, I got your back, team.
That's what you got to do.
So, because he wants to play 4 or 5 more years, and it's a good ride he's on. It's a nice ride. Go along for, right? Because he's going to play in like 30 games a year, whatever, when needed. And again, I give him high marks. To just go out there cold and make 3 threes.
Yeah, Skip, look. His job is a lot more difficult than people think. Because, Skip, he might go 3, 4, 5 games and not play. And then they call on you because Kuz is not in there. So now you're one of the first off the bench. You coming in, LeBron kick that thing to you, he just let it.
Well,
it's hard to be on the bench. I think you're right. People don't realize what goes into that.
Guess what, Skip?
You're right.
Do you know, Skip, that we can go 500 the rest of the way and we still win 50?
Wow.
Yeah, I got 5 cases of them things. I want them things on ice. I want them 5 cases on ice.
Well, wait a second. I was just a week
ago. You 38. I'm
down to 38, but I was up 43, and I asked for none on ice because I don't get them. So now you're asking for ice.
And guess what? I'm going to be down to 33 because when Philly win that division, bam, 33. And then when I get this right here, boom, boom.
I'm still liking my NFC East bet.
Okay.
Still like it.
Okay.
You know, I'm hanging right in there with that one.
That might be in this hole?
And Christmas Day. That might be worth about 5-10 right there, right?
Oh, no.
Come on, hold on. You talking about, you wait, the best player, the king of L.A.
Boy, they were running that Kawhi ad heavy last night during that ESPN.
We don't do
no game.
Guess what? We don't do ads.
Yep.
Have you noticed? You ever seen the ads for the Four Seasons? You ever seen this ad
I know you don't
for Tiffany's? What about Harry Winston? Louis Vuitton. I mean, you don't see stuff like that. Brand recognition.
Well, Jenny asked me where the ad's been, and I said,
I know.
it's coming.
I said that.
There it was, and there it was.
So
we don't do ads.
Probably 'cause I said
You know what? No.
You don't do ads. That's all you do is ads.
How
many Sprite commercials do I have to watch with LeBron? Sprite.
We don't got to tell you who we are. Everybody know.
Yeah.
He can't even. They won't even let him come overseas. He can't go to China. He can't take them New Balances nowhere, but to the Northeast where they make New Balance. He can't go overseas to China. They're like, you better get that mess up out of here.
Well, all I know is LeBron. There's no way he's going to play Friday night against Jimmy Buckets because LeBron's deceased.
Who?
He got
that body bag?
Obama put him in a body bag.
Don't do that.
It's over. Obama.
Got him.
Obama.
Mo Better came out. Mo Better playing like 10 minutes of games. He came in all fresh, jacked up.
He got the king.
Skip, first of all, the dude is 7 foot tall with a 10.5-inch wingspan.
But it's the king.
But he
right?
Skip.
He got washed on that play.
If LeBron was like in year 10 and he came
Look, here it is again. We can't stop playing it.
We must.
You know, it's on a loop. It's going to play all day on FS1.
And
LeBron, body bag.
Okay.
LeBron looked up like, what? What just happened?
That was a foul.
It was.
That was a foul. But don't worry about
it. Mo Bamba.
We ain't going to worry about it. Oh, Mo, you have your moment.
5-game road trip for
Poor
them.
LeBron.
They've won 22 of their last 24.
That's impressive. That is impressive, and we aren't even to Christmas.
Not even there.
You get the pre-Christmas trophy. You won it.
Although by Christmas, we'd probably be 30-3.
I can't believe they lost the game I went to. I'm not good luck anywhere. Jeez,
Yeah,
I can't go to any
gotta
games.
start
I am
sending
not
you
going to
to
go to
more
the Vikings
games.
game Sunday. I will not go because I am not good luck.
Well, you could go to the
My
Cowboys
record.
game. You should go. I should send you to Dallas.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh, interesting. I could probably arrange that. Thanks for setting it up.
No mercy.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lead the league in rushing yards per game by over 50 yards. If they keep up their pace, they will be the first team to rush for over 200 yards a game since 1977. Tonight will be a true test for Baltimore, though, as they face a Jets defense that has given up fewer than 80 yards a game this season. Lamar has been limited in practice all week with a thigh injury and is listed as questionable, but has said all week that he will play tonight. So, Shannon, what is the score tonight?
Well, I think sometimes when you look at a stat and it says they're very good against the run, you have to, but they're like 28th in points allowed, Skip. So it tells me that teams possibly are throwing the ball against you, getting the ball, and then when they get the lead, they're running the ball, and you know they're going to run it, and you stuff them in that manner. I'm going to take the Ravens, and I understand that Lamar has been banged up a little bit coming off a Sunday's game in Buffalo, and it's a short turnaround. But the thing that Greg Williams must be careful of is that he's not going to be blitzing a 42-year-old Tom Brady. He's not blitzing a 18-year-old Brett Favre or Peyton Manning skipping the Super Bowl.
Or how about a Dak Prescott without either starting tackle and without Amari Cooper up at the Jets? Go ahead.
Because the difference is, you can blitz him. But remember, it's all about getting, Coach Belichick says it's all about getting the guy on the ground. You blitz him, and you let him jump out the window. Now, we saw what happened with the Patriots, Skip, on Sunday. They played, the Kansas City Chiefs played cover 5, which is 22-man, and they run past him, and Tom Brady got 17. This guy right here, if you run past him, he'll hit his head on the goalpost. And so you have to be mindful. Also, he's very unique in this way, is that he's a guy, yes, he has tremendous legs, but he leads the NFL in passing. So do you really want to leave your guys one-on-one? Because he can throw the ball. He can beat you throwing the football.
Absolutely.
And he kind of did that, although he didn't have a bunch of yards. They neutralized him running the game last week in Buffalo, Skip. But it was his 3 touchdown passes ultimately was the difference in the ball game. So he can beat you throwing the football. So that's what the Jets are going to have to face. And for me, the Jets are what they are. I think they're 5-8. When you're dealing with a team like this and you have so much in front of you, you're the Ravens, Skip, you don't give them any reason to want to play hard. You give them a reason to say, I'm going to go ahead and close out the lease on my apartment because I got to get this thing ready to get up out of here. Go ahead and call the people that's going to come pick these trucks up in Jersey, my car vehicles up in Jersey, because I'm going back to Florida or Texas or Georgia, wherever I'm from or where I'm going to spend my offseason because I'm going to get up out of here. You don't want a team like this thinking they can beat you late in the ball game, because you make it more difficult than what it needs to be. Ideally, they race out to a big lead, and then RG three can take this thing over somewhere through the midway through the third quarter, and then Lamar Jackson can get that quad healthy over the course of the next 10 days. Because all they need to win 2 games, and they have the number 1 seed throughout. They win the division and have the number 1 seed throughout as long as they win in the AFC.
So we obviously saw Lamar and company have a pretty tough game in the wind and the cold up in Buffalo. Went down to the last throw. Marcus Peters knocked it down at the goal line. But I'm going to remind everybody, we have seen this young man, Lamar Jackson, on the nighttime solo NFL stage twice before this year. This is the 3rd time tonight, live on Fox. What happened the first time on a Sunday night on NBC? The Patriots went to Baltimore. It was 37-20, Lamar and company. Lamar lit them up with his arm and his legs. And then what happened out here on a Monday Night Football not too long ago at the Coliseum against the Rams, who we thought were going to be really good before the year started? It was 45-6 Lamar Jackson, and he put on a show of shows. He had a QBR of 99.7, second this year only to his 99.8 at Cincinnati when he put them in the spin cycle.
And he had what did he have, like a 98 point something against the opening day against Miami?
He did at Miami. He lit them up. But he lit up the Rams. He didn't throw many, but he 15-20 for 169, but he ran 8 times for 95 yards, and he threw 5 touchdown passes. That's all, 5 touchdown passes. He threw 3 more at Buffalo. So my point is, you could see Rare tonight because this kid, he likes that stage, right? When the lights are brightest, he rises and shines the brightest, right?
Yep.
And it does seem like, save for one exception, it seems like he likes to put one of his fellow sort of draft class quarterbacks in their place, and he's got another chance tonight against Sam Darnold. Now, Baker got him. Baker did get him this year at Baltimore. But last week, I thought he outplayed Josh Allen, and Josh Allen had a hard time against the Baltimore defense. But tonight, I think Lamar will try to light them up, which brings me back to Greg Williams. He is my favorite defensive coordinator in football. Belichick's obviously at the top. Your man Wade Phillips is somewhere up in that echelon, and Greg Williams is too. It's those 3. And what I love about Greg Williams is he's just a tough old flint of a guy.
He is.
He is no nonsense. He will tell you eye to eye exactly what he thinks or does not think of you. And I just wish I could snap my fingers and have him coach my Dallas Cowboy defense home this year, because he wouldn't take quitting.
No.
He would tear some new you-know-whats in that locker room, right?
Yeah, Skip, I don't know if those guys can handle that kind of coaching.
I don't know.
Because Greg Williams is a different animal.
Woof.
He going MFs and F, he going to do all.
You're going to get it all.
He going to get it all, Skip.
You know what? It almost always works, because he's coached 2 different defenses to Super Bowls, and obviously one required a bounty gate against Brett Favre, and he got busted for that, but they did go on to win that Super Bowl against Peyton, right? And so he's been to 2 Super Bowls. He did win 1, and I still say, if Jimmy Haslam in Cleveland had the foresight to keep Greg Williams as his head coach and let him coordinate the defense and keep Freddie Kitchens where he belonged, let him go ahead and call the plays, let him be the offensive coordinator, but let Greg Williams run the show from the top. They are missing Greg Williams' voice in that locker room. My team is missing a voice like that. I thought it was Rod Marinelli. I don't know what's happened. Maybe they've just grown tired of his voice.
Skip, I'm looking at Lamar's resume, and you make some very good points about Greg Williams. Greg Williams is, look, I remember they played the Colts in the Super Bowl, and I had picked the Colts, and he had saw that I had picked the Colts, and we were for media day, so we were over there, and he comes strolling through, and he pulled me to the side. He said, "Sharpe, you know we're going to blitz his ass into the ground." This is a Tuesday now.
We're talking about
Peyton Manning. Yes, prime Peyton Manning. Oh, you know we're going to blitz him into the ground. Skip, I'm like, that's coach talk. You're not going to blitz. Nobody blitzed Peyton Manning back then. He had Marvin, he had Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. I mean, no, stop. Get out of here.
Okay.
That's what he did. But Skip, does anybody have a more impressive resume than Lamar Jackson? He beat the Pats. He beat Seattle. He beat Houston. He beat the Niners. He beat Buffalo. He beat the Rams. Jenny says
I'm glad Dallas isn't on his schedule. It would have been embarrassing.
Jenny says he's the MVP front runner. Right now, he's like, I don't really know. Unless he just steps off a cliff, I don't know how anybody catches him with that resume.
Okay. So, because I'm always intrigued by what Greg Williams can do.
Yes.
I give them that proverbial puncher's
Yeah.
chance. I'm just afraid he doesn't have enough horses on
Right.
his unit
Right.
to deal with this stallion that
Right.
is Lamar.
But the
Whoa.
thing is, Skip, if he was just one-dimensional, and yes, they're running the ball for over
Yep.
200 yards, and I think you got to go back, you said 77, if I'm not mistaken, that was Walter Payton's Chicago Bears team
Yeah,
that
77.
led the league in rushing that year. But Skip, back then, everybody ran the football. I mean, you weren't winning anything if you couldn't run the football. But this kid can throw it. I'm amazed. I mean, I don't know if people really know this. He leads the NFL in passing touchdowns,
Yep.
and he's 22 yards from breaking Michael Vick. I think Mike
23 rush yards.
23 rush yards. So Mike had 1,036. So he's over 1,000 running.
Close.
Michael was never close to leading the league in passing touchdowns.
Yep.
So that just goes to show you just how dynamic of a player he is. You can't say, okay, we're going to shut his legs off because he can't. Okay, you'll find out the hard way.
So I look at what he has to work with on defense, and Jamal Adams and Marcus May, they're both very good at what they do. But after
Adam
that,
he might not be. He was doubtful.
iffy. I know he's iffy. And then Quinnen Williams, you got
Right.
your big stud up
Right.
front. But other than that, it's a bunch of no names. He'll have them as ready as he can have them.
Right.
I'm going to say it's 27-14 that they
Okay.
can kind of hang in there. But the more I think about it, Lamar on this stage, I don't know. The weather is really football perfect. It's 32 degrees, little wind, no precipitation. So it's going to be a nice night for football.
Considering the last one he had to
Yeah,
go against
no.
because he's 49ers, it was monsoon and then in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. Oh, he's fun to watch. That's what I
L.
love.
Jack.
The chemistry. I love the team, the way they're playing.
No mercy.
Last night, Kawhi Leonard made his return to Toronto for the first time since signing with the Clippers. He received his championship ring pregame and was met with MVP chants from Raptors fans. Toronto also put together a video tribute for Kawhi, and Doc Rivers said after the game that it was the best ceremony for a returning player he had ever seen. Kawhi and the Clippers would cruise to a 112-92 win. So, Shannon, how did Kawhi handle everything last night?
Well, it's kind of hard to mess that up. I mean, I know Kawhi ain't smiling after the game, ain't shaking hands and taking pictures after the game, because Skip said he would never do that. Did you see him after game one? Kawhi was all business because he just went straight into the locker room. Did you notice that, Jenny?
If you saw a smile, you got one more than I saw. I didn't see any.
You didn't see no smile?
Nope.
He out there waving to the fans. He out there shucking it up with a Van Vliet. You saw that.
I saw that.
But why are you smiling?
They won a championship.
Thank
together.
you. That's my point. How you messed that up, Jenny? They had it was an unbelievable ceremony. They had the shot that you call the most luckiest shot in NBA history.
Absolutely, hands down. No, but I said, not on that shot. Luckiest shot in the history of the world.
Skip, it's hard to miss what went on last night. He was getting his ring. The fans are still in championship celebration mode. They're chanting MVP towards the end of the game. And it just goes, I mean, that's what they are, Skip. It wasn't like he spent, look, they knew there was a possibility that he was a rental. And he didn't spend a decade there. He didn't spend 5. It's not like he spent like KD time in OKC or Bron in Cleveland.
No.
It wasn't one of those situations. Or AD spent, 7 years in New Orleans? That's different. He spent a year. So I'm not surprised that they gave him this, and considering that he won championships. Look, I went back to 2 locations. When I went to Baltimore, we played Denver. They gave me, I won championships there. I went back to Baltimore. They cheered. I won championship there. So it's hard to mess that up, Skip.
Yeah.
He played, he was 23, 6 and 5. He was plus 21. He's been great from the free throw line all year. So, he was good. He picked up the slack. Paul George was not very good. He was 3 of 14, 2 of 12. But the thing that they can do is that they were down 5 in the first quarter, and then it comes out there and they stifle the Raptors, give them up 14 points. I let that sink in. They got 14. We held a team to 9. We held them to
Which
9.
team was that again?
That don't matter.
Yeah.
That's an NBA team.
It's the Orlando Magic.
So, Skip, give kudos, Kawhi, congratulations, you got your ring. But guess what? That ring can't save you on Christmas.
Nope.
Less than
We'll
2
see
weeks
about that.
away for that one.
I will be there.
Are you really?
I got to go.
You
It's on a
gotta go?
Wednesday.
You said that
It's on
about-
a Wednesday. It's at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going.
Are you really?
Yep, I'm going. I'm going.
Okay.
I don't know
believe
about
you,
that.
but
Yeah,
whatever.
give me your ticket, please.
Guess what? I'm going to be right there. Hey, you see my IG Live story, me and Bron. He gonna give you these deuces.
Can't
Really?
wait.
And drop 30 on Kawhi and Paul George head.
Really?
Boom! Somebody getting body bagged that night, Skip. I feel it.
You know what? I got to tell you, I have been shocked at how well the Lakers have played on defense. Shocked.
Why you shocked?
I didn't see this coming. I give high marks to Frank Vogel because that
Fair.
has been his mindset from the start. I coach defense. He coached it in Indiana, and now he's coaching it at an even higher level with the Lakers. He has turned that team around on that end of the floor. But they ain't no Clippers. They ain't no Clippers. Listen, these guys are as serious a business as you can get in this league right now when they put their mind to it. And last night, they put their mind to it. Again, what Doc said is exactly right. It was as classy a tribute as you will ever see. He's never seen one better. It was a flat-out love fest. You actually recommended that they boo him after the tip-off.
They should.
Okay, but they didn't. They're chanting MVP the whole game.
Yeah, Skip, because I mean, look, they still, Skip, they're not used to anything.
But they get it that you're right. It was just a layover, a one-year
That's
layover
it.
on his way to L.A.
Correct.
They got it, and they absorbed it, and they embraced it, and they said, we got it. We got a championship. Maybe they'll never, ever get another one. Who knows? It's doubtful they will get one. But they got one, and they wanted to celebrate it a second time last night, and they did. And then the Clippers happened. And I'm going to remind everybody, Toronto at home, remember, they came into that game 16-7 overall. At home, they were averaging 119 points, which was fifth best at home in the league. They barely got to 90 last night. They got 92 points because this team just says no on the defensive end. It is so long and so skilled and so driven on the defensive end. It doesn't just take pride. That's who they are. They wake up in the morning ready to play defense because they know they can. And look at these numbers, what they did to, like, Kawhi's best friend on the team, Kyle Lowry. He goes 1 for 8 in the game and 0 for 7 from 3. And how about, remember when Serge Ibaka interviewed Kawhi on How Hungry Are You, his little YouTube series that he does? Remember, it was the best Kawhi interview I've ever seen. Well, last night he followed up how he wasn't very hungry, I guess, last night because he was 0 for 8 and 0 for 3. It's because they got clamped on. They got locked down, locked up.
We're missing Van Fleet.
Yeah.
Van Fleet made things different.
Yeah, he would have made things completely different.
Hold on, you just said he was the MVP. He should have been Finals MVP.
Yep, he did. He played very well, and yet I don't think he would have made any difference last night because Pat Bev would have locked him up. And the other curious thing to me was, I don't see this ever happen to LeBron James, at least in year 17, because I can't remember this happening to LeBron since his first go-round back in his Cleveland days.
What?
But last night, the Toronto Raptors said, we are going to take Kawhi Leonard out of this game. They doubled him every time down the floor and trap-doubled him, where they put Siakam and then a guard on him, where they just said, you got to give up the ball. We're going to make you cough it up if you don't give it up, right?
Because you know why they do that? Because they know he going to pass to the corner or something. See, LeBron going to do that. You trap LeBron, he going to hit one of them guys up under the basket for the dunk. Did you see that lob?
Yeah.
They gave him the ball, Jenny. He took 2 steps and threw a lob all the way down to the other end to JaVale.
So
you think Kawhi can do that?
Against a constant double team last night, look at the numbers he put up. You want to talk about degree of difficulty? He was beating 2 guys and made 8 of 14 shots. That's extraordinary. And to your point, you would think that the beneficiary last night would have been his partner in crime, Paul George. Nope. He was getting single-teamed all night, and he shot 3 for 14 and 2 of 12.
Well, Skip, he had to burn all his energy in Indy. You remember he went to Indy the other night and put up 36 on them, and he was exhausted.
And I'm sure he gave up a lot on the defensive end in this game, taking Siakam a lot, because Siakam's pretty serious.
Well, Siakam was 9 of 20.
Yeah.
He held Nuneby was 4 of 14, so nobody really did. Kyle Lowry was 1 of 8. Serge Ibaka was 0 of 8. Terrence Davis was 1 of 4. Did y'all come to play?
Handcuffs all around. The Clippers brought their handcuffs, and they're going to bring them on Christmas, too. Just watch.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they going to do with AD?
Yeah, whatever they want to do.
I bet you they don't.
Well, they'll do exactly what they did on opening night, AD, when he came up goose egg in the fourth quarter.
I bet they won't come up
goose egg.
Skip.
Whew.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. You going to get our 50-piece.
Yeah.
We due for another 50-piece.
We got some due on 50.
You got to put another due on some 50-piece. Nope.
No.
Did we bet on Christmas?
No, he don't want to give me nothing. He talking about no.
We got to get close. I got to see if everybody's healthy.
Oh, no. Whoa.
And I want to make sure, because
Kawhi might load manage.
He doesn't take the Lakers that seriously.
Oh,
You know,
stop.
yeah.
He has to.
Yeah. Come on.
Fighting for whose
He's got a
town
bigger
it is.
picture in mind.
We got what you think we thinking about?
He's angling toward May and June. That's what he's
Skip,
setting up.
it's all about the journey, bruh. We understand the destination is where it is.
Yeah.
But we're going to enjoy this journey.
If the Lakers win on Christmas, there will be a parade on December 26th.
No.
And that's the only parade you're going to get.
No.
Yeah.
Skip, I'm not going to even celebrate. I'm not going to even celebrate.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
You want to come to the pre-show meeting. You'll be December 26th. You'll be downtown leading the parade.
I mean, see, you got me all wrong. You think I like to gloat. My teams have success, and I just want to come out here and show out. That's not me.
Yeah, no.
I got something special for you. That Thursday,
The
you
day
might.
after Christmas.
Oh yeah. Old Santa gonna bring me something.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I cannot wait for that one.
Yep.
I just can't believe we have.
I just hope you
2 weeks
show
till
up on.
Christmas.
Oh, I'm showing up. Showing up with a triple dub. Have my autographed jersey, bronze jersey on. Yep.
No mercy.
It's being reported that the Patriots did not capture anything on the Bengals sideline from the press box that couldn't be seen on the television broadcast. It's also being reported that it was the videographer's first road game, which may have contributed to some of his confusion. The NFL is still investigating the incident, and yesterday, Roger Goodell said the Patriots' pass violations are a factor, but that he also wouldn't draw conclusions until all the information is looked at. We're now joined by Fox Sports contributor Rob Parker. Rob, I saw you tweeting about this one. How should the Patriots be punished here?
Well, if the league can determine that Coach Bill Belichick knew what was going on in this situation, this would be his second offense, and they've already had a couple of questionable cheating scandals, whatever you want to say, or breaking the rules or whatnot, then they should come down hard on Bill Belichick. I say indefinite suspension from this standpoint, that they need to find out, if they found out that Bill Belichick was involved some way and kind of knew, they need to find out how deep is this cheating going on in this organization. They need to interview ex-employees, current employees, find out the scope of what's going on before I would even allow Bill Belichick to come back and coach again, because you're messing with the integrity of the game. And now here's the other part. People can poo-poo it, I know, outside of New England. I've had some Patriots fans who are friends of mine who have said, threw their hands up and said, I'm done. I cannot defend this organization anymore. This is like lunacy. Here we go again. And the damage has been done. And I'm talking about the people who are on the fence, who are always looking at the Patriots with one eye going, I know they've won a lot and they keep getting to the Super Bowls, but I don't know how much of this is Bill Belichick's system, what he's doing, and how much of this is basically that they have an advantage because they're doing some monkey business. And I think the legacy is going to be damaged no matter what comes out. There'll always be in the back of your head how much of this involved cheating with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And so here's the other, and then the excuse people make right away is they don't need any help to beat the 1-12 Bengals. Well, Spygate was against the 4-11 Jets and Eric Mangini. So obviously it has nothing to do with the team's record or whether or not they need it. You say, well, why did they do it? Why would they do it, right? It doesn't make any sense. Because they can. It's an arrogance. That's all it is. Taking advantage of a situation. You remember, there have even been plays where Bill Belichick circumvented the rules, did a play, and then the NFL has to come back the next day, right, or 2 days later and go, you can't do that anymore.
They changed the rule in the offseason.
Am I right?
But it's not circumventing rule. He just found a loophole.
A
and they had
loophole,
to
okay.
close it.
You know what I mean? And that everybody goes, that's illegal.
Right.
And it wasn't, and then they have to button it up, right?
Yeah.
Because he found a... So all I'm saying is the Patriots have been damaged from this, even if it's not this suspension and the big fine and draft picks or whatever, this organization will be damaged legacy-wise.
It is, and I feel the exact same way that you do, is that if there's nothing to be gained from it, why are you doing it? You know, the thing is, that there's a saying, Skip, that says, you never get upset with a person that lies to you. You should be upset that you can never believe anything they say again. That's what should be upsetting. And so because the Patriots have put themselves here, how can I trust anything they say? How? How do I believe? And that's what. And everybody wants to say you're just upset. They did what they were alleged to have done back in 27. That's fact. There's no way around that. I don't want to hear, but everybody else, yeah, there's a lot. Hold on. There's not just one bank robber. There's just not one shoplifter. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things that are illegal. But just because someone else is doing it doesn't give you the ground that you could do it, should do it, and then use that as cover. That what about Israel? Well, what about them?
But where are the other stories and fines of other teams who have been busted? That's what I'm waiting for. It doesn't happen that often.
And that's just me. It's just hard for me to believe a guy that knows everything that goes in the organization. All of a sudden, like coach, like Mr. Kraft is telling them what pieces to craft. Stop it. This is Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick, when it comes to football and football-related issues, and advanced scouting is a football-related issue. Everything has to have the blessing of Coach Bill Belichick. And if it can be proven that he knew and to what extent, yeah, punishment should be severe, it should be harsh, and it should be swift.
Okay, let's do the hypothetical. Let's say that it crossed his desk that we're sending this team, videographer, to Cleveland to do a piece, do your job for the website on the advanced scout. And he rubber stamped it like, okay, I got it. Rubber stamp, fine, next, right? What would be his motivation? What would he gain from that piece if, in fact, he was masterminding some sort of cheating issue here? I still don't get what's to gain from it.
I can give you one. How about the Bengals have a new coach, don't they?
Yep.
Maybe, Skip, he has a file on everybody. Maybe this is not for right now.
Skip, it's
tendencies.
It's all about
That's all.
It's all about chronicling information.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why he asked Micah Hyde, did you make that pick? What did you see? How? He wants information.
He didn't ask that. He just said, was that you? That's all he asked him.
So,
was that you, Micah? Yes. Well, it obviously was. We all saw it on TV.
Yeah.
But
that was really deep.
Coach Belichick is a hoarder. It is just like Peyton Manning. He had a foul on every defensive coordinator that he went against.
So every time we talk about this, I have to declare the irony of this. I am less a fan of Bill Belichick than even you and you are. Because you have been a fan of him as a coach.
Yes, I am.
And every time we've brought it up in the discussion of who's the greatest coach ever, and it's always in the Brady-Belichick who gets the most credit sort of debate, I always say he's disqualified. He got caught red-handed cheating. He's out of the discussion. And not only that, he got accused of videotaping walkthroughs before the first two Super Bowls by executives, publicly by executives of the Rams and the Panthers. Wow, it wasn't proven, but boy, he sure got accused. And then Deflategate. You can't tell me if he knows everything that goes on in that organization that it didn't emanate. If, in fact, they deflated footballs, it didn't emanate from the head coach first.
You can't believe that ball boys did that on their own.
All right.
Just ridiculous.
And
Like this videographer did, he went
he did it on his own.
When Peyton Manning is publicly quoted as saying, when we play at Gillette, there's no way we have a meaningful, strategic conversation within the confines of the locker room. We go out in the hall because we suspect it is bugged. And how many visiting teams have said, our signals got jammed mysteriously in the middle of the game? Those are cheating, at least allegations.
Correct.
Those are deep, dark cheating allegations. But now we get to this question here about this thing, the point of contention, and I say, I feel like it's innocent as charged. This is a parking ticket at most, but he is being a victim, Belichick, of his reputation.
But he should, though, Skip, because of that. If he didn't have the other stuff, then you could go, okay, this is. And the other thing that bothers me was the videographer, when he was busted by the security guard, said, "Oh no, I'll erase it." Like
I just got caught off guard, like it's no big deal.
But like you did something wrong. But why would you do that? I didn't do anything wrong. What is?
Okay, well, I think he was naive and just didn't know he was violating a rule. And to me, again, they said the tape he shot was equal to what you'd get on the TV tape, so you could just watch it on TV.
Yeah, but I don't think the cameras are on the sidelines for 8 minutes. They're on the field. I know what you're trying to say, but that's not 8 minutes of watching the sidelines. You can pick up a lot more. Television is cutaways.
Okay, so here's the quote from an NFL source in one of the pieces this morning. You would not go in, meaning to the press box, wearing a Bruins shirt, Boston Bruins, put a camera on a tripod in the press box, and hope nobody notices. And I agree with that. There's one thing to be brazen. There's another thing just to be flat out stupid, and Belichick is not stupid. This is this would be brazen stupidity. It's like you would call the bank 15 minutes before you're going to rob it and say, hey, I'm about to rob the bank.
And that's what he did to Eric Mangini.
He did not.
Yes!
But it was still secret videotaping that Eric knew what it was.
And he told him
saw it from the inside
and he told him not to do it to him.
Did.
Right. Okay, and then here's the thing. The NFL sent a memo because it had been circulating that teams, mainly the Patriots, were videotaping from the sidelines. Roger Goodell sent the memo. If you are currently videotaping from the sidelines, stop immediately. Skip, okay, if he got that memo from the NFL office, why would he continue to do it if he wasn't arrogant or stupid? One or the other. Now, which is it?
It's on Eric Mangini. He just said, I'm going to do it to you.
No.
Yeah.
No, the NFL sent the memo to all 32 teams. Said if you're taping signals from the sideline, stop it immediately.
Yeah, we hear consistently that everybody still tapes defensive signals and tries to break them down. It's just like sign stealing in baseball. Same thing. There is a rule against
it. Except for the Astros took it a step further.
They did. But to me, it's still a silly rule because this is like penny ante cheating. This is like parking ticket cheating.
Skip, it's like, Skip, okay, what does my uniform, my pants not being over my knees, what does that have to do with anything? It's a rule that says your pants must cover your knees. Your socks must come up. That's the rules. Whether we think it's a rule or the importance of the rule is inconsequential.
It's just like the football with the air for all the people kept making it. Well, there's a reason that the ball has to be a certain pressure. There's a reason. Otherwise, when I'm running the football, I'll put in deflated footballs that you won't, right?
I want to be a Nerf ball.
So that it'll never be, it won't be stripped, it won't be fumbled, right? Every time I do a running play, I could bring that ball in.
Right.
Okay, just remember, the very job, as in do your job, of the advanced scout is to sit way up high in the press box and carefully watch the signaling from the sideline by the defensive coaches into the defense.
Right.
And he's going to try to chart it as best he can with his eyes. They just don't want you taping during the game and taking it in at halftime, and marrying it up to the game tape. Because at halftime, you could steal their signals. And again, I've always said you should change your signals at halftime. You say it's too complex.
Yeah.
Well, again, you could if you really had to.
Yeah, because think about it. Think about how many times we say the receiver and the quarterback was on the wrong page. Because so if you think about it, you go all week and you practice a certain set of signals, and now you try to change it.
I still think you could practice two sets of signals. You could have an A and a B. You could switch up at halftime because everybody's trying to steal them.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. When you do that, I got a foul. Now, if I see Zach Taylor again, now he might be at the Bengals. He might not. He might be at another team because guess what? It's recyclable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all these coaches have been somewhere, and that's why Peyton Manning kept a foul on everybody.
And then
from Rex Ryan to Bob Sutton to yada, yada, yada. Coach Belichick won't say foul. So this is what you do. In this down and distance, this is the play that you like. This is the format. That's why you do what you do, Skip. That's it.
Yeah, I think that Belichick and the Patriots look bad all the way around. And I think ultimately it could cost them. I mean, especially if there's a penalty against Belichick. You talk about it. He would, to me, I agree with you on the greatest football coach ever. There's no way he can be in that conversation. He was fined $500,000, the most by any coach in the NFL. They lost draft picks. He was busted cheating.
Somehow,
there's no other way.
He was busted cheating. But let me ask you a question. Through that cheating, there were others that benefited. Who benefited from that
Tom
cheating?
Brady. I've said that.
I mean, if I'm a drug...
I'm with you. I'm with you.
If you're a drug dealer and all that means come by ill-gotten, and then you pass that to somebody else, they come take that from them. So we just excuse, Coach Belichick cheated. But who stood to gain the most from his cheating?
No, there's no doubt about it.
But we gonna
I'm not giving Brady a pass either, because to have the defensive signals helps you, right?
That's why you watch tape.
Right. I get it. And you're right about the whole thing. That's been my biggest contention with steroid use in baseball. It's the same exact. Joe Torre, Tony La Russa, they get to go to the Hall of Fame. Their players used it and they won. How do they go to the Hall of Fame, Skip?
And then the players. And they knew it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Complicated. Well, we talk about doing your job in that, and I feel like the videographer
He did his job.
Didn't do their job.
He did his job.
To know better. I feel like that they should have. It's kind of
First thing comes up, oh, you going to take? Oh, make sure you don't take no
If it
sideline.
was in fact a mistake, I think they should have done better, and that's what
You
they're gonna have to live
you
with.
questioned that, huh, Jenny?
Yeah.
Oh, now you know.
I hear both sides. It's almost so dumb that
Now-
it is an SNL skit, but then on the other side, how do you make that mistake? It's
Now
so
you know old
interesting.
Polly Purebred, old naive Nelly over here. Now Jenny's a
I'm
speak.
not naive, Nelly.
Polly
Facts.
Purebred. I haven't heard that in years.
Facts.
That's underdog.
I remember that.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Shannon.
That's before Jenny's time.
A lot of nicknames.
Skip
doesn't know that.
Skip
You
know
Way before
You
my
don't know underdog?
Okay, Rob, we're gonna have you stick around because we haven't had your take on the Cowboys.
This is Christmas for me.
Are they
Patriots
set
in
up to
trouble.
miss the playoffs?
Cowboys stink.
I know. You go to Antarctica, you come back.
Yep.
Here's what we got.
No mercy.
The Cowboys' playoff hopes remain alive as they sit atop the NFC East, tied with the Eagles at 6-7. On Sunday, the Cowboys host the 8-5 Rams, who are fighting for a wild card spot right now. And meanwhile, the Eagles will travel to Washington to take on the 3-10 Redskins. But it will most likely all come down to next week when the Cowboys travel to Philly for a game that could decide the division. Rob Parker still with us. Rob, who wins the NFC East?
Hear me out, Skip.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Good luck.
I got a better one for you. Ready, Shannon?
Yeah.
Cowboys will not, N-O-T, win another game this year.
What?
All right, I know they got the Redskins as the last game. I'm telling you, by then, they'll be so demoralized. It'll be the end. It'll all come apart. They will not win another game.
It's possible.
It really is because the Cowboys are that bad. And look, the Rams, who they play, are on a hot streak. They've won 3 of the last 4. They're making a push to try to make the playoffs. And then they got to play the Eagles in Philadelphia. I've just watched. I did not pick the Cowboys before the season to make the playoffs. And even when they won their first 3 games and Dak lit it up, you remember all that? All those fraudulent...
Skip wouldn't let me forget it.
Yeah, all those numbers, and everybody was saying, back up the Brinks truck and sign him. He's moving towards being an elite quarterback and all that. And now they haven't beaten anybody with a record over 500. The Cowboys, they stink. And I know you're hurt, Skip, because you thought this was the year, especially after they signed Ezekiel, right? And, they had everything going. This was going to be the year.
Jalen Smith, everybody got paid. Travis Frederick back.
Yep.
And instead, I do believe the Eagles are going to win this division.
Wow.
And they'll win their last 3 games. And the Cowboys will lose all 3 of their games. And that's going to be it. And it won't be pretty for the Eagles. They had a lot of injuries. But their game against the Giants, and people can dog them about how ugly it was or whatever, but that to me was a big win. Down 17-3 at the half, looking awful. They pitch a shutout defensively in the second half. And they do what they have to do, and they get the game-winning touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go.
Wow. Something.
But that's what they needed.
Hey,
they
I
needed
was
that to
blown away
save.
by it. I've
They
never
needed
seen
it to
anything like
save
it.
their season,
Yeah.
Skip.
They saved
You
it.
know what? I always tell you, sports has a short menu. You know, at your restaurant,
Yep.
wins and losses. That's all there is.
No, his restaurant now has only losses.
Yeah,
Is that right?
I was
Yeah,
getting
they only got losses.
the Cowboys
the
stand, but
Cowboys don't,
Cowboys,
right.
and the Patriots have been spending a lot of time at my place. I'm doing good.
And you know what? You just mentioned the Patriots. Skip bet me that, and I said that the Patriots wouldn't make it to the AFC Championship game. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay. Remember that bet, Shannon.
And I'm just a seasonal operation, so I gotta get all my money during football season.
Sure.
And the Cowboys and the Patriots got me looking real good. I'm gonna be in the red.
I thought you were opening basketball.
Oh, I ain't worried about coming.
No?
Ron ain't coming. Ron ain't never come yet. Ron ain't gonna
Really?
come. Yeah, he can't come.
I
He busy.
The deeper we get in the season, he might be living there.
He busy.
Yeah.
Look, I picked the Eagles at the beginning of the season. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Skip. At some point in time, you just can't keep trotting undrafted free agents. And then Monday night it got so bad, they were thinking about putting the backup quarterback in at receiver because they only went into the game with 3 healthy receivers. Alshon goes down almost like the first series of the second half, and then Arcega-Whiteside injures his hamstring, and so now they got 1 receiver. So they're going with Greg Ward, who played quarterback in college. Skip, Jacoby Myers. He was a quarterback in college, undrafted free agent player receiver. That's who Tom Brady's throwing to. That's why Tom Brady's looking so bad. He ain't mentioned nothing about that. Now Carson Wentz, walk it to him. Had the ball on his hands, but don't worry about it.
Wait, does Tom Brady have Zach Ertz? How about Dallas
No.
Tom Brady's tight ends as a group are the worst in football.
He has a Hall of Fame receiver in Julian Edelman. That's what you told me.
No,
right?
you told me he's not in the Hall of Fame.
I thought Tom Brady did more with less than anybody in the history of the NFL.
I was thinking
that was the
too.
argument.
Wait.
That's how they built up the narrative.
Until he got so sabotaged by his head coach, who wants him gone, that he's got no line, no run game. They're 23rd in rushing now. But this is about the Dallas Cowboys.
Skip, okay. I just have zero faith in the Cowboys, Skip. And I know deep down inside you don't have a whole lot of faith in them either, because what you've been watching is that you saw 2 good drives and then they go like the next 2.5, almost 3 quarters and do absolutely nothing.
Until the quarterback threw for 224 in the fourth quarter, which is hard.
And what'd he do? Look at me, but hold on. You talk about my quarterback. He needed the fourth quarter in overtime to throw for 220. He gets a dub, and you poo-poo it. And now Dak has thrown for all these yards and hadn't won anything. He's lost 5 or 6, right? And you hyping him up.
I'm hyping him up.
Don't worry about it.
Dak's going to win the Stat Patford Award this year.
But you know what? He'll get comeback player of the year in 2020 because he ain't nothing going on this year.
Really?
But look, I'm taking the Eagles, even though they've been besieged by injuries. But right now, this is a contest, and neither one of them looking pretty. So I'm gonna have to go on congeniality. I'm gonna take old Dougie P over Big Red.
Are you really?
Yep.
So, first of all, I got a bet that I'm going to propose to Rob Parker. Another dinner that Dallas wins at least one more game. Right here, right now.
Let's do it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate that. So I just canceled out the other bet.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
So I will admit to you, my confidence has wavered, but it is not non-existent yet. The point spread for this game against the Rams has plummeted from Dallas by 4.5 all the way to Rams by 2. I've never seen.
Oh, it's going to 2 now?
Yep.
Yes.
That was this morning. I forgot to check just now.
Vegas is all the money's coming in on the Rams, right?
Like crazy money coming in, because there's never been a bigger point swing without an injury to a quarterback.
Yes.
And as far as I know, my quarterback's got 2 hurt hands because he was limited in practice, and he's got a bad.
Ain't nothing wrong with his hand.
He does. He does. He's got a banged up. He hit his index finger on a helmet the other night. But he did limit it. He practiced limited. So no big. That's not why that point spread plummeted. It's because of the eye test of, the Rams look like the Rams, and the Cowboys look even worse than the Eagles, think a lot of people except me. My quarterback is still better than your quarterback.
No, he's not.
It boils down to that. And my quarterback has still had a very good year. I would be the first to admit he hasn't made enough of the plays, but he's made a whole bunch of plays because he's leading this league in yards passing. They're leading in yards gained.
Trash yards.
They are number 1 in Pro Football Focus. To this moment, they are still ranked number 1 in offense by Pro Football Focus. They grade them out as the best offense, and it's mostly because my quarterback, who is still 3rd in QBR in the league, that's pretty special. He's had a very good year in spite of the rest of them.
When you admit that a lot of that is he padded those first 3 games, a lot of numbers.
You know why? A lot of it is
stats.
because he won't quit. He'll just keep firing. And he kept firing in the fourth quarter and almost got them back in that game.
No, he didn't.
You know it, and I know it. And he almost got them back in the game against Aaron Rodgers.
But he's the reason why they got him out of the game, because he did nothing.
No, he did not. Did he turn the ball over at Chicago? No, he
but
didn't.
Skip, the quarterback job not only is not to turn the ball over, but his job is to move the ball and put it in the end zone. Did he do that in Chicago?
They missed 19 tackles. It's the most missed in over a year of football played in the NFL. We haven't seen anything like it in a long time.
And Dak missed 19 throws until the score got 20, when the score was 24 to 7.
It's hard to miss 19 throws when you throw for 224 in the fourth quarter. So the point is, I got a lot of fat cats who got overpaid, and they are resting on their laurels, and it's fat cat syndrome. And I throw Zeke in there. And
Zeke's having a good year,
He
Skip.
is not. He's 5th in rushing after he led it for 3 straight years.
Skip,
That's 5th, top 5? You wouldn't take a top 5 running
He's gone
back?
5 straight games without 100 yards. Stop it. I don't even recognize him anymore.
You
And how about D. Marcus Lawrence, except there's no D. He's just Marcus Lawrence. $100 million defensive end, and even he's saying, I just haven't shown up the last 2 weeks. Well, how about
What you mean
showing
2
up?
weeks?
Yeah.
This season.
Thank you. Jalen Smith, everybody's picking on him now in pass coverage because he got paid, man, and I just don't think he comes out really willing to lay it all out on the line.
It's hard when the money bags trailing behind
So
you.
it's everybody's fault except for Dak.
You noticed that
He's
too.
all I got.
I noticed that. He mentioned
all
everybody.
I got.
Well, you ain't got much.
He will carry me home
No, he
because
won't.
my team is still going to beat the Eagles at Philly because my team just loves to play at Philadelphia. They beat them there last year. They've beaten them, 1, 2, 3 times in a row. This will be the 4th time. And I thought all year they can beat that team. And you do have more injuries. I lost Leighton Van Der Esch, and then I noticed in the chart in The Athletic this morning, he leads the team in missed tackles. So after I haven't had him for 4 games, and despite having missed 4 games, he still has the most missed tackles. So maybe I'm better off this way.
But Skip, let me ask you a question. You said the defense and guys not doing this, yada, yada, yada. What about your offensive line? Are they blocking? Are they the same unit?
Fat cat syndrome. Did they not all get paid? Not this year, but previously.
They've gotten their
all
money.
of them.
Yeah.
All of them got their money.
Here's why you shouldn't have confidence that they're going to make the playoffs. When you talk about missed tackles, they're tied for the 3rd most in the league, right? And you look at the other teams who are down there with them, Cardinals, Lions, and then they're tied with the Browns. What do all those teams have in common? They're not making the playoffs. That's why the Cowboys are not going to. The company they keep. When you miss tackles, you said it, Skip, you're not going to make the playoffs missing 19 tackles in a game.
That's what I say. What's the saying, Skip Bayless? The words you speak is the house you live in. The game they play is the house they will live in.
All I know is
out of the playoffs.
all we need to do is go win at Philly, and we get a home
You ain't
playoff
winning
game.
at Philly.
And I get another dinner.
You ain't winning. You're not winning at Philly.
Skip,
So get
I
that-
got a couple of
Hold on.
big dinners coming up.
Why don't you worry about the Rams? What y'all gonna do with them?
Let's bet that game, Skip.
You know what?
Wanna
The
bet that
truth
too?
is, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
That's
I would
what's
love to
odd.
see him win just to build a little, or rebuild a little confidence, but it does
Because we
not
already
matter.
know. We already know what sideline
Does not
best
matter.
quarterback of 2016 will be standing on, don't we?
Yeah. Who would you take going forward?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff or Dak Prescott? I think I'd
Jared
take
Goff.
Dak Prescott. Carson, walk it to him, wins.
Walk it to him.
No, wait, he's bounce it to him, wins.
Oh,
he
I know
played
you-
3 of the worst quarters I have ever seen.
How about
It
the
was
fourth
a
quarter to win the
nightmare.
game?
Yeah.
What about old skip it to him, Dak?
Yeah, he doesn't skip it. To
Yes,
him.
he
It's
does.
right in the hands.
Skip it to him.
Who's
Dak.
got the better completion percentage this year? Help me out.
You got
Yeah, thank you.
Who's got that guy?
Look at your guy. I mean, think
Better
about that.
QBR, my guy.
So explain this to me. A guy got the better QBR, more passing yards, more touchdowns, and we got the same record.
I'd say
And
better
hasn't beaten a good
leadership
team.
as well.
No, I would
You
go
know?
with leadership for sure.
I know the record. Okay.
All I know is what's my guy's record against Aaron Rodgers? My guy went to Lambeau and beat Aaron. Your guy can't beat him to save his life.
Because
Hold on,
Aaron
Steve.
Rodgers failed to see
No,
a wide
no,
open
No,
receiver in
that's
the right
unnecessary.
side of the end zone.
No.
Like, here, I'm open. It's the last play of the game, and he throws it in the middle. To
Aaron
intercept.
Rodgers has the keys to that stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
31-3.
Lately,
Had you down,
definitely
31-3. And then you want to talk about my guy, he's a warrior, he's a fighter.
Threw for what, 363 in the second half? That's hard to do.
How many when the score was 2 scores? Nothing.
In Dak, I trust.
Okay.
And I am hanging in with my quarterback.
That's all you doing
Good
is
to know.
hanging too.
Good to
You
know.
hanging about 3.
Rob, thank
Okay.
you. I'm glad you could come back and talk about a few of your favorite things.
No mercy.
LeBron not only leads the league in assists per game by over 1.5, but he also leads the league by a wide margin in real plus minus, with James Harden being a distant second. Real plus minus takes into account teammates, opponents, and additional factors, as well as the net point differential while the player is on the court. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Tell me he the MVP. That's what it tells me. What it tell you, Skip?
I thought yesterday Anthony Davis was MVP. No? Oh, that changes.
Interesting. Good point.
Now, I'm looking at the real plus minus. It says real plus minus. LeBron James is 10.18. James Harden is second at 7.13. The gap between 1 and 2 is the same gap as between 2 and 11. Good God Almighty.
Who are you talking to over there?
No.
Who's over there? I don't know who's over there.
You ain't tell me this, Skip.
I got to
Skip,
find out.
Hold on, Skip. Don't worry about
Is
it. Hold
there a
on.
little man over
Yeah,
there?
he over there. He over there. Skip, now, hold on. Listen to the real captain, Skip. LeBron James is up by 3 points on second place. The last time a player won by even 1 point was 2014, the king himself, GOAT James. Huh? Skip. LeBron is number 1 in offensive real plus minus. He's 10th in defense. Now, Skip Bayless told me he can't play. He's gone. He's done. You saw that. Hazonia blocked the shot. He was up here keying. He had him running on a loop. You tried to embarrass me, shame me on national television.
Don't dare me to play that Mo Bamba tape from last night.
We saw it.
Skip, look,
It looked a little washed.
I don't think anybody should be surprised because we've never seen a guy in this kind of condition. No guy that played 17 years. If we go back and just look at the guys that's played 17 years, we look at a guy like, let's say, Karl Malone. Karl Malone didn't train and maybe he didn't know what LeBron knew, because obviously, Skip, time and you know, you look back and like, wow, I thought I was eating well until I see the way athletes eat now and see the way they train now.
Fair.
I was like, whew, man, I was archaic in my training. You look at Kobe. When Kobe got to year 17, Skip, the injuries had started to set in. You know, he had the torn labrum, you know, and he had the Achilles injury. So those guys, all of a sudden, instead of training, they were rehabbing. Mm-hmm. LeBron James, for the very first time in, 8-9 years, he got an opportunity. He was not going to be playing basketball in May. He was not going to be playing basketball in June. Mm-hmm. So he got a 2-month head start on recovering his body, and he got an opportunity to train and to refresh and heal his mind, heal that body. And so what we're seeing, don't let that fool you. Now, this is what we're talking about, Skip Bayless. Year 17, and he's doing this. I got 3 letters for you. MVP.
Really? So
look at him about that. He missed that shot right there. I was mad.
The first year they're going to have to give 2 MVPs? They'll give them both an MVP? I don't know.
No, it's Skip.
Whatever.
All I know is my guy is 26, 11, and 7. In year 17.
Very impressive.
Ah.
So I'm going to give you this. He has an extraordinary lead in this new stat of ESPN's Real Plus Minus. It's extraordinary, the gap between 1 and 2, and then to your point, to 2 to 3.
Fair.
But what has changed in year 17 that we've never seen LeBron do before? What is he doing this year that is different from all the previous 16 years?
He's full-time point guard.
Full-time point guard. That's all you need to know. He was born to be a full-time point guard. He has actually hurt his teams previous to this team because he refused to play full-time point guard. Why in his early years 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, why did he refuse to play point guard? Because he was trying to out MJ. He wanted next. He said, I'm the next Michael Jordan.
Got it.
And he fell right into the Jordan trap because he kept saying, well, Michael didn't play point. He's a 2 guard. He's everything. I want to be that guy. I want to be the scorer and the passer, but mostly I want to be the primary scorer.
Point forward.
No, he wanted to be he should have been the point guard, but he just wanted to be the 2 guard.
Okay.
And he shot way too many threes, and he shot too many jump shots, and blah, 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 and we know that, but he actually hamstrung some of his teams. He did not maximize his capability because he is the best passer in basketball to this day. He was the day he stepped on that floor as a rookie in Sacramento. He was immediately the best passer in basketball, and he remains that to this day. He should have averaged 10 assists a year at least. He should have been 12 or 14 assists a year, and he should have orchestrated from the start. He should have initiated his offense from the start.
Well, maybe if he'd had Anthony Davis, maybe he'd have been willing to do that.
You could have made them all almost Anthony Davis if you had orchestrated. If you had let it start with LeBron and sometimes finish with LeBron, because in the fourth quarters, he's taking the most shots in the league. So when he chooses to shoot, he can shoot.
But Skip, you do realize like that Kyrie's last year there, he let Kyrie took more shots than LeBron. And so he was so unselfish that in order to keep the peace, you remember the first year in Miami, he's like, this is D-Wade's team. I'm going to let D-Wade do his thing. And then D-Wade had to sit him down and say, bro, you the best player on the planet. You do you, I'll find my way.
Okay.
So Skip, he has to, LeBron, look, maybe to a fault, Skip, he's so unselfish. And he wants sincerely the best for the team. Now, maybe you're looking at it like, what would have been best for the team had him play point guard from the moment he stepped in the NBA to be playing point guard a la Magic Johnson.
He was Magic Johnson. And he wanted to be Michael Jordan.
He was always more Magic. And I think the thing is that, look, Skip, I mean, Michael was sexy. flying through the air. He had the commercial with the shoes, the Air Jordan shoes, and everybody wanted those shoes. And he had the Gatorade. And Michael was just sexy. Everybody wanted to be there.
Who chose to wear 23 in high school and continue on into the pro?
And like Jay-Z said, he made the Yankee hat more famous than the Yankee did. He made the 23 jersey more famous than Jordan did.
That was
none of my business.
That was the most blasphemous.
That ain't none of my business.
I had to pause for that one because I'm waiting for the lightning to strike.
Hold up.
Please, God.
Look,
forgive him for what
he's going to turn the 23 over to AD. Yeah. He's going to number 6. Now we heading towards Mr. Russell.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Russell.
We might got a late start to try to catch him.
Okay. You probably have a late start on that one. What was the absolute peak of LeBron's capability in the National Basketball Association? When did I see him at his absolute greatest? Games 1, 2, and 3 of the 2015 NBA Finals, when he had already lost Kevin Love pre-finals and he lost Kyrie Irving in overtime of Game 1 to a fractured kneecap. And what did LeBron proceed to do in 2 and 3 after what he'd done in Game 1? Well, he scored 44 in Game 1. Then he goes 39 and 40 in the next 2 games. And he was taking high shots, but he was dribbling the ball up the floor every time. He put the whole team on his back and said, I got you. I can do this.
But, Skip, that's a lot of work, Skip, especially in a situation like that. Now, maybe had he had Kyrie and Kevin Love to help him do some heavy lifting, but you have to remember, like, when Magic was playing, he still had Kareem. He still had James Worthy and Jamal Wilkes and Bob. Right. He still had guys to help him do that heavy lifting.
Okay.
That was asking an awful lot.
All right, but I sat back after those 3 games, and they went up 2-1 with Game 4 in LeBron's house in Cleveland, and I said, that was better than Magic Johnson. If you can finish this off, you can start making a case you're in the same sentence with Michael Jordan. Yeah. You had a chance. And Game 4 was the nadir of this. It's where you had it and you lost it. Where Game 4 in your house, you scored, what? 20 points, 12. You had 12 rebounds, 8 assists, but you shot 7 of 22 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3, and you missed 5 free throws, 5 of 10 free throws. That's your house, your game, and it was when Steve Kerr inserted Iguodala in the starting lineup.
No, Iggy came in Game 3 when it almost came back. But then he started in Game 4.
Game 4.
Okay, yes.
And then here they went because Iggy took LeBron much of that game.
Right.
And Iggy scored 20 himself.
Yeah, and what started happening, Skip, is that Iggy made him work a little more than the other guys did, and also Iggy made him work on the other end because Iggy was getting points. So now you're double zapping him because he has to be in charge of bringing, because he wanted to play at a pace. He knew he didn't have the horses to run up and down with Golden State. So he had to control the ball. But they also made him play defense because he couldn't just sag off because Iggy all of a sudden started making threes.
He started making threes. So if LeBron had pulled that off, if he finished that off, you'd have some ammo over there.
Well, I'll have some ammo this year. Because in year 17, we won't win the finals. Because I'm going to disqualify Giannis. Because I just want to know, is the East still weak? Because when LeBron was over there, the East was weak.
We talked about that.
I just want to know, is the East still weak or no?
Because Kawhi left it, so.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's the only reason Kawhi won the finals. That's the only reason he got there.
Yep.
You know, ain't nobody wasn't coming out of the East with LeBron there. You knew that.
Well.
And we want a bigger challenge.
Yeah.
We got tired of these little. We let the Raptors win 60 games, sweep them. We let the Hawks win 60 games, sweep them. And then people started to take for granted, well, the East is weak. I just want to know now that Giannis is doing what he's doing in the East, is it still weak? It's a simple question.
How did LeBron do without AD here last year? Was
Not
that weak?
as smooth.
No. Hold on.
Go as well.
But I kept trying to tell you. That's why we were trying to get him. And they're trying to hold on to him. I say, but you can't hold him. You can't stop progress. Progress must progress. And we got AD now. And look at that.
Well,
MVP?
No, LeBron MVP. LeBron, stop saying that.
all side of things.
Defensive player of the year.
Talking about LeBron a little bit more.
No mercy.
Earlier this week, LeBron said he needed to focus more on, quote, mental fitness following his 2011 finals loss to the Mavericks. LeBron admitted that the level of scrutiny he was under took him out of his comfort zone, and he also lost his love for the game. So, Shannon, are you surprised by this?
A little, because the thing with an athlete is that they don't let you know about the insecurities. Skip, I think when we've discussed the guy on this show several times, back in the news, although we didn't talk about him today, that we think that he needs to go talk to someone.
Antonio Brown.
Correct. And for LeBron, you're talking about an apex athlete. You're talking about a guy that's at the top of the mountain, to say, there's some things that got to me. And especially, what's that I'm most surprised about, Skip, because for the longest time, that was said about LeBron. Tremendous talent, can do it all, but he's not mentally tough. And for him to say, that 2011 season was the culmination of that, everything came to a head, that I wasn't playing to like I know I can play, and the pressure, and it formed the perfect storm. And I needed to go talk. I needed to go, whether he vented or however he got his situation resolved, is that athletes don't, Skip, we don't like to admit that we have frailties. That's it in a nutshell. And me not being mentally tough? What? You don't know where I came from. You don't know, you talk about a guy that came from a single parent and that really had no dominant male figure in his home that we can say, his coaches, and to get to where he got to, and basically he's learning to be a man, how to be a man as he's going through the process of himself. Not having someone that says, okay, LeBron, a dad or a grandpa say, hey, LeBron, this is how you do it, and go here. He's having to do it on his own. Michael Jordan had his dad, and then he had Coach Smith. So he had a parent, and then he had a coach that he had the utmost respect for. Well, LeBron James, I'm doing kind of going this thing on my own. But kudos to him, Skip. It takes a big man. It takes a big person to admit that I'm not in a place where I need to be able to function at my highest. Because I'm not sure I would have told that. Some things I just go and take to my grave, whatever you say.
So he said he'd lost his love, and this is after what I always said was the worst superstar meltdown I've ever seen on a big stage, because it was games 4, 5, and 6 of the finals in 2011.
And Skip, we're talking about a guy that's already had won two regular season MVPs. So we're talking about a guy that's already at the heap, at the top.
Yep. He had some issues at the end of his Cleveland run against, obviously, Orlando, and then against Boston the last go-around. And remember, Dan Gilbert was hard on him and even accused him publicly of quitting in that series. And there was the report that he needed to be sedated for the last couple of games of the Boston series because of a locker room issue that he was going through on a personal level. So I'm happy he talked about it, and I do think he came right out of that in 2012 against the still young Thunder, but LeBron was great in that finals, especially when they went home. He was great, and they just shut them down and and just shut it out in, 5 games?
Yeah, it was 4-1.
5 games, and LeBron was the MVP, but he continued to struggle. It wasn't like he was completely fixed of that, because he did. I thought you said he played really well in the fourth quarter of that Game 6 in 2013, but he had 3 unforced error turnovers down the last 3 minutes of Game 6 that Ray Allen saved him, missed the last shot. LeBron did, and then Ray made it. And remember, in 2014, I still say they went home in the finals against my Spurs 1-1. They went back to Miami, and LeBron had 2 home games. And go check the tape of this. He wasn't himself. He wasn't great in those 2 games, and they lost both at home. Then they went back to San Antonio, and they ended up losing in 5 games by a record finals margin. Yeah,
and nobody had ever shot like what San Antonio, because I was just certain. I said, there's no way they can continue to shoot like this. And they continued to shoot like that. Patty Mills couldn't miss. Danny Green couldn't miss. Even Kawhi was making, nobody could miss from the 3. I was like, there's no way they can keep this going. But Skip, if you remember, when they were down 3-2, going back to the Garden, and they showed the picture, he had his hands on his knees, and he's looking side to side. I said, somebody in heap of trouble. Jenny, there's a calm. There's a hush over the stadium. There's a calm. You just know what's about to happen that we'd never seen before.
That was with Dwayne. Yeah. Yep.
45. And then he went back and finished it off in Game 7. And I know we rolling. We good now.
You're good. So then the other most embarrassing moment to me in LeBron's career that he did not fix was 2018 Finals Game 1 at Oracle.
Man, get out of here.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
You got to take the shot. You got Steph on you.
No.
And you're down 1. You just got to take the shot. You can't kick it to George Hill and hope he's going to make 2 free throws. You just can't do it.
Well, Clay did a great thing because he kicked it to George Hill, and George Hill was about to lay the ball up, and Clay snatched him out, which I got no problem with. And like you said, you forced him to go make the. I was like, ugh.
Then LeBron went and sat by himself and.
But hold on, what we gonna talk about? What we gonna do about Swish? Swish was on them real cookies.
But LeBron is doing something right now, and refreshing to hear him talk about it. I think that's the number one thing. It is refreshing. Whether you're an athlete or not, it's important.
No mercy.
It's been well documented that Baker Mayfield has had a chip on his shoulder against Cliff Kingsbury from when he played under him in his early college years at Texas Tech. With Baker's Browns set to take on Kingsbury's Cardinals this Sunday, both expressed regret over how they handled things in 2013 and said that they have both moved on. So Shannon, what does this tell you about Baker?
If Baker's moved on, that'll be the first time that he's moved on from someone that he thinks has wronged him.
That is true.
I still believe that he's somewhat holding a grudge, and it's probably, if they win the game, I'm sure he'll have something to say. This doesn't strike me as Baker's letting things go. He doesn't seem to have matured to that point that, you know what, things happen, people make mistakes, say things, and we forgive them and we move on. I'm not so sure that's the case with him.
I think he's been humbled this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think the old Baker would have continued this feud and the chip on his shoulder, especially going into this game. But the guy this year hasn't had much success feuding with anybody because they keep losing games and he keeps feuding. And I think he finally threw up his hands because he's taken so much heat for so many chips on his shoulder that he finally just said, I'm out. I'm going to try to just make love, not war. Right?
Yeah.
Move on.
Well, you might be right, Skip. I mean, 'cause here's the thing. They were losing some last year, but he was still putting up big numbers.
He was.
Now they're losing, and he's playing terrible, which makes it even worse.
Well, it's the first time in his life he hasn't been able to back this up.
To figure it out. Yeah, it's been humbling. I think that's a good word for it, Skip. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.